from start to finish.
Yeah, well, I think with Alex, what makes her so strong is just her realism as a character. You know, she's vulnerable, she's honest, she's genuine, she's strong, she's brave. She just has a lot of really good qualities that I think anyone can relate to. So, you know, we didn't take anything specific with Chloe or previous characters from Before the Storm. We wanted Alex to be a character that stands up on her own, someone who's real. And I think, you know, our writers did a great job of writing her. And then Erica, the actress, did a great job performing as her. And that is now the character that we see and love in this game. It really was a team effort to make her as great as she is today.
One thing that's only just occurred to me is in each of the Life is Strange games, the main characters have parents who are either absent or antagonistic or a little bit of both. So it sounds like, again, this is a trend that continues into true colors. So again, was that a conscious decision? And either way, how do you think that feeds into the story?
It was, and, you know, we did a lot of research to make sure that we gave the foster care system justice. You know, obviously it's a complicated subject. So we just tried to tell, like most Life is Strange games do, something that's real, but also tragic.
The story.
And, you know, so unfortunate. We just tried to tell, as far as Alex's parents, it definitely influences, you know, who she became and who she is as a person. I don't want to say too much more than that because there's moments in the game where I would love for fans to just experience for themselves. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's probably about it for me. So again, thank you again so much for making time to talk to me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you once again to our friends over at PC Gamer for that one, and lots more to come here. But first, I want to mention that our friends over at DoorDash are doing something pretty cool. Make sure you tag them in a tweet, you follow them for your chance to win a $100 gift card. That's right, folks, $100. Now, so make sure you guys do that. Follow the prompts here, and you'll be a Gucci handbag. So we've had some pretty awesome moments already from this year's E3. It's been great, but I do want to take a second to, you know, do some story time amongst us friends. Might I add, how cool is it that we get to sit here with IGN, GameSpot, both me and you, G4, Nerdist as well, to talk about, this is probably one of the highlights for me personally. But, you know, I want to go down the line. Dan, what is an E3 memory from your first E3?
My first E3, well, I grew up reading like GamePro and EGM and always reading about E3 year after year. And being like, I would love to go to that someday. Finally, in 2012, I got the chance, and it was just like full body chills. It was such a really incredible moment for me. It was like one of my first jobs away from like waiting tables. It was like one of my first real moments where I was like, I'm working in the field of like entertainment journalism and covering pop culture and the stuff that I love. And I remember I got to sit in the closed door session to see Star Wars 1313, RIP, and just had my brain rent asunder by how awesome it looked. And basically that game looked like it was going to do for Star Wars what The Mandalorian ultimately did, just open up this whole world of scum and villainy. And it also taught me to embrace pain, because sometimes not all of your dreams can come true. In that case, it was sadly dashed upon the rocky shores of reality and development hell. But one day, hopefully, we'll go back to Coruscant, to level 1313, check out that seedy underbelly. But for now, I'll always have that memory to hold on to.
A boy can dream. A boy can dream. Boys and girls can dream. Avli, what about for you?
Mine is probably a little bit more evil, so boys and girls, do not try this at home.
What did you do?
Well, I snuck into my first E3.
Oh, gosh, Avli.
So I was maybe 17, 18 years old, and I came as a media partner for my high school newspaper. Totally legitimate, wasn't in high school anymore at that point. But I will never forget them, for some reason, handing me the badge, putting the lanyard on, and then just walking into the convention hall and just looking up all around me at all of the different booths.
Yeah.
And like seeing like the big Nintendo booth, and then I think there was like Persona 4 Dancing All Night being displayed or something, right?
Yeah.
And then just having like Teddy going over here, like, you want to dance, little girl? And I'm like, okay. That was probably like my absolute favorite memory of just being in shock and awe that I was there, because, you know, we saw E3 on G4.
Right.
I found E3 from like, Hey Ash, what you playing? They did like a vlog there, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm here. This is it.
Yeah. Well, we don't have a lot of time, but Michael, what about for you?
I grew up watching GameSpot, and I had a 2004 GameSpot DVD where they went around E3. I'm like, damn, it'd be nice to be there. 2017 was my first E3, and I did it for GameSpot, so I bust up in there. I'm like, yo, this is wild, whimsical. Like, I'm doing work, but it's wild to, like, collaborate with the Giant Bomb folks, because, like, we see them in the office, but, like, you go to the Giant Bomb couch, it's like, wow, this stuff is real. I'm really here. So I'll never forget 2017. It was a lot of work. You realize how much work is put in for, like, folks at GameSpot, IGN, so it's wild.
And Damon?
I'm going to carbon date myself here. My first E3 with IGN was 2006.
Wow.
So I got to go to some of the behind closed door demos. And remember, 2006, PS3 and Wii weren't out yet. 360 was out, but I didn't have one yet. So I was playing PS2, GameCube, original Xbox games. And I got to go to the behind closed doors demos of Mass Effect and BioShock, and I was completely blown away. I was like, these feel like real next-gen experiences over everything I'm playing right now. And I was like, wow, this is a really exciting way to start my career at IGN.
Well, before we throw to our next segment, I did want to say my quick E3 story. I commentated a Major League Gaming show match for GameSpot where I flew in the last day of E3 because that was like all they could afford. Fly me in the last day of E3 at the last moment, at the last hour of E3. It was my first one, but I remember being on that airplane, going to LA and saying to myself, Mama, I made it. It was a great time. But we have so many great stories, not just from us, but also from all of our friends all around the industry. And some of your favorite streamers, as well as influencers all around, had a bit to say about what was their favorite moments from E3.
I'm a criminal.
Well, I could tell you growing up, E3 was like the holy grail, right? Like, that was, I mean, it was like, E3? I'll never make it there. Wow, you went?
In 1999, that was my first E3. I got to see a cool midway, like, basketball cage. I remember that. I believe that was the E3 where they introduced the Dreamcast.
I was in awe at everything. I tried everything. I played Just Dance, you know, the Ubisoft booth was incredible.
They had me just in a roller coaster simulator, and I was bad at that somehow. I don't know what happened.
Probably similar to a lot of the other content creators on this show. We had to sneak in, man. We was little kids. Like, I was in high school.
Nintendo was handing out posters. They handed out like a Zelda poster or something, and I was like, yes! And I framed it immediately and put it up on the wall, and I was like, I got that at E3! Don't even act like I didn't get it at E3. There it is right there.
The time that I went to my first E3 in 2016, I think I called in sick that day. I was like, you know, you turn on your sick voice. Yeah, I just don't think I'm gonna be able to come in. I'm sorry. I don't work there anymore, so I can't get in trouble for it, so the story's out there now.
It was just so surreal to walk in and see something that I've been watching for so long, and it's there, it's in front of me, and I'm in it.
The cosplays, I loved meeting new friends, I loved the panels, I loved walking on the showroom floor and just seeing all these new things.
It was just unreal, and it really solidified a lot of feelings for me, knowing that I wanted to be in this industry.
I had all this swag on me from one of the halls where I had played a whole bunch of games. And then I get to the next hall because I wanted to go in there and see what it was. It was the one with Sony and Microsoft and also Nintendo. And the dude at the door stopped me and was like, hold on. Let me see your badge. And I was like, whoa. And I showed him the badge. And he said, what's your name? And I forgot the name on the badge.
What's up, everyone? I'm Brian Altano. In today's Fix, we get our first look at Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, Far Cry's most iconic villains are back and badder than ever, and Mario & Rabbids Sparks of Hopes has been officially revealed by Ubisoft after Nintendo leaked it themselves yesterday. I'll get to that in a sec, but first, here's my friend Stella with some news about the upcoming Avatar game. Take it away, Stella!
official, 2022 will be taking us back to James Cameron's epic science fiction world in Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. Following a similar announce then delay then wait forever precedent set by the Avatar movie sequels, we first heard about this game 4 years ago. Based on what we saw in today's Ubisoft Forward presentation, it looks like this action-adventure game is set in a first-person open world, featuring the Western Frontier, a part of the planet not previously seen, home to the franchise's signature living, reactive alien biome. While the game stars new characters, it's clear from the trailer that it's still humanity and mechs versus the Na'vi and the wonders of nature, with a strong focus on air combat. Somewhere, Max Scoville is thrilled by this news. Developed by Ubisoft's massive entertainment studio, Frontiers of Pandora promises to utilize the Division Snowdrop engine to expand and deepen the Avatar universe in exciting and innovative ways along with the films. Massive reportedly worked in partnership with James Cameron's production company and Disney, which could mean a game very close to the world of Pandora that we know, and different from Massive's other titles, notably Tom Clancy's The Division, and an upcoming open-world Star Wars game. The game is being developed for next-gen consoles and PC, and yes, this is what we got instead of Beyond Good and Evil 2. At long last, my dream of delivering Far Cry 3's famous insanity speech myself is coming true. As previously leaked, Far Cry 6's upcoming DLCs will explore one of the Far Cry series' most enduring elements, the villains. The DLC Season Pass will let you play as Vas Montenegro from Far Cry 3, Pagan Min from Far Cry 4, and Joseph Seed from Far Cry 5. All three previous villains were shown along with surreal first-person gameplay seemingly set in worlds that exist within each big bad's terrifying mind. All three charismatic characters seem to be surprised by the fact that they're present, but happy nonetheless to be back causing havoc. And so are we. That's not all for Far Cry 6's Season Pass, it will also include Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon in some form. This much-loved 2013 standalone expansion for Far Cry 3 featured a retro-futuristic world and parodied many 1980s action genre elements. Ubisoft and Ari Shankar recently announced a Netflix animated series spin-off called Captain Laserhawk: A Blood Dragon Remix, so it's a somewhat surprisingly good time for Blood Dragon fans.
Thanks, Stella. I cannot wait for Far Cry. Speaking of colorful games full of terrifying villains and nightmare animals, the Rabbids are back and they're teaming up with the iconic Italian plumber Super Mario once more in Mario & Rabbids Sparks of Hope, officially coming to Nintendo Switch in 2022. We actually got an early look at the game yesterday ahead of Ubisoft's conference when Nintendo themselves leaked the game on their official website. How dare you, Nintendo? It wouldn't be a Mario & Rabbids game without a leak happening. That's part of the tradition at this point. Either way, the first game was surprisingly awesome and also a sales hit, so here's hoping the next one is even better, even if Rabbid Rosalina is one of the scariest things I've ever seen in my entire adult life. Anyway, with E3 now in full swing, what are you looking forward to most? Are there any games you're hoping to see on stage? Let us know in the comments below. I'm Brian Altano, and that was your Daily Fix. Now that you're all caught up in the news, make sure to check out the rest of our E3 coverage on YouTube, across social media, or even on your smart TV. Download the IGN app on all your mobile devices, and subscribe to the IGN Daily Fix on Snapchat for all things, everything else, video games, E3, and scary-ass rabbids. IGN.com. Thanks for watching.
Fala, galerinha, estamos de volta. Você pensou que acabou? Não acabou não, galera. Nós estamos aqui, ainda tem muito chão pra rolar. Estamos voltando agora, então, só pra falar pra vocês, nós estamos voltando daqui a pouquinho, a partir das 6 da tarde, vamos ter a Warner Bros. Games, depois das 6h30 a PC Game Show e pra fechar às 8 horas a Future Games Show. Tudo para mostrar pra você as melhores coisas que rolam lá na E3. E eu tô aqui, por enquanto eu tô só com o Saulo. Fala, Saulão.
E aí, Marcelo, boa tarde, quase boa noite, né?
Quase boa noite, quase, faltando 4 minutos pra boa noite.
O Caveira Exterminador mandou um hi pra gente no chat. Hi!
Hi, Caveira.
Hello.
Que bom que ele é português, né? Caveira deve ser português.
Deve ser.
É isso aí, galera. Não terminamos, não. A gente vai agora com a Warner Bros. A Warner Bros. Que falou que iria falar só de Back 4 Blood. Eles falaram que, na realidade, como a gente já viu as coisas... acho que foi o jogo que mais apareceu na E3.
Já vai ser a terceira aparição?
Exatamente, terceira aparição. E eles falaram que agora a gente vai ver um novo modo, né? Agora na conferência da Warner. Espero eu, de coração, que não seja só esse jogo. Mas que tudo indica que vai ser, né? Mas eu acho que... Putz, eu queria muito que a gente pudesse ver outras coisas. Até porque tem uma coisa que a gente é bom falar. A Warner Games está uma situação muito estranha. Porque...
com a fusão da Discovery com a Warner Brothers, né?
Exatamente. Com essa
Eles não sabem o que vai acontecer.
Parte da Warner Games foi vendida, parte da Warner Games não foi. Tá uma coisa muito estranha, ninguém sabe o que vai acontecer direito, ainda não tem nenhuma informação precisa. E será que é por isso que a gente só tá vendo esse jogo da Warner?
Possivelmente, né?
Cara, porque é uma situação bem esquisita essa que tá ocorrendo com a Warner Games, a Warner Bros. Games. É uma pena, né? Porque a Warner tem várias IPs fortes, mas que não consegue dar andamento porque a empresa tá com alguns pepinos aí de aquisições e a gente realmente não fica sabendo de muita coisa e ninguém fala nada. Esse mundo, esse mercado de games, ele é bem restrito e eles costumam realmente não ficar dando detalhes. Pelo que tudo indica na transmissão, nós estamos acompanhando já o feed da E3 de novo, pelo que tudo indica, vai ser só Back 4 Blood mesmo.
Ainda mais se os estúdios, né? Tá nessa impasse, né, do que vai acontecer com a empresa, eles não tem como tocar os projetos, né?
Exato. Exatamente. E são projetos caríssimos, né? A gente sabe aí que eles estão fazendo, a Warner está fazendo um jogo da franquia, como que chama lá? Do
Gotham Knights.
Isso, o Gotham Knights, mas ele está fazendo a franquia do coisa lá, como que chama?
Harry Potter?
Não.
Harry Potter?
Harry Potter tem.
Do Harry Potter, né?
Tem o jogo do Harry Potter, mas não, é aquele filme que é a Arlequina. Nossa, fugiu o nome. Esquadrão Suicida.
De rapina.
Esquadrão Suicida, né? O jogo do Esquadrão Suicida foi revelado e depois ninguém mais deu nenhuma... que é o jogo da Rocksteady. Rocksteady tá fazendo.
O Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Muito obrigado. Por isso que eu gosto dos meus editores.
Tem o Hogwarts Legacy, né? Que é o joguinho do Harry Potter. E depois o Gotham Knights.
Isso, então a gente tem esses 3 jogos que a Warner tá tocando, 3 franquias zilionárias. E a gente ainda não sabe exatamente, mas pelo que a gente viu, a gente só vai ver Back 4 Blood de novo. Eu digo de novo porque é a terceira vez, como o Saulo falou, que esse jogo tá aparecendo no evento. Jesus Maria José. E aí, agora já estamos com o Jefferson. E agora a gente vai, então, a contagem aqui. Vamos começar. Vamos começar? Eles estão aí. Já começamos, então, aí. Espero que seja, então, a host aí dos assuntos da Warner.
PvP mode called Swarm, how it works, and what you'll be doing. Maybe even a little bit of strategy. We'll also talk with Turtle Rock's lead game designer on Back 4 Blood, Brandon Yanez, to help piece it all together. Before we get there, though, let's start off with the reveal of a brand new PvP trailer and see what it's like in action.
Aí vamos ver a parte de PVP do jogo.
One down.
When
When I was young, I climbed up too high just to touch the sun. Back off! On my mission, no prescription, shoot for number one. Start a riot, won't keep quiet. I'm surrounded. Heart is pumping, keep it coming. Better run it high.
This is what happens when you don't stick together.
I was born for this. I'm a monster, I'm a hunter. Let my demons show.
Eles literalmente estão mostrando mais gameplay do jogo, né?
Exato. É isso aí, chegando
12 de outubro.
12 de outubro. Jogo que vai estar de graça
So there you have it, guys.
no Xbox
Back 4
Game
Blood's
Pass.
PvP mode Swarm. To hear more
Não,
about
de
it,
graça não, né?
deep dive
Não.
Tá incluso.
É incluso. Ah, de graça pra quem é assinante, então.
Não, mas se é assinante, não é de graça.
Brandon, can you tell us a little bit about the
É de graça pra
Eu
quem
não
é
entendi.
assinante.
A gente tá só pegando no seu pé.
Just like our previous titles, we really enjoy
Explicar pra galera, né?
bringing to the table while retaining the spirit of the genre that we're working in. So, Back 4 Blood's PvP is heavily inspired by our previous titles that mix survival, fast action, massive monsters, and a touch of horror. So our goal is to make a balanced
verdade,
and fun
é
PvP
modo
mode
horda,
with
né?
just as much replayability as the main
Sem
campaign.
dúvidas.
So what's the structure of the PvP like? Do you play in rounds? Can you play as both
Assim, eu
cleaners
tenho
and
medo dele
Ridden
ser
in
muito
one
parecido
match?
com
Or
Left
are we
4
swapping
Dead.
between the two?
Yeah, so it's
Nossa,
played
eu tô achando.
teams of 4 take turns
achando
swapping
ele,
between
eu já tô
Ridden
achando que
cleaner
já é
players.
muito
Job of the
parecido.
cleaners is to scavenge supplies, find a
Porque
place
assim,
on the
Killing
map to
Floor
fortify
tem
the
essa
position mesma
mesma
and try
pegada
to
de
last as long
hordas
as they
e
can.
etc, né?
Ridden's
Só
main
que eles
objective is to kill
colocaram
the cleaners as fast as they can.
aquele
This is
elemento gore
achieved
no
by
jogo, né?
choosing
Então
the
mudou
right
completamente
Ridden to
o
counter the other team's
jeito de
strategy,
jogar e os
using
mapas
mutation
são tudo
upgrades,
fechados.
and by coordinating attacks
Agora
with
esse
other
aí,
AIs
cara,
and
tá com uma
players.
pegada
As the round
muito,
progresses,
mas
the
muito
swarm
Left
moves
4
in,
Dead.
so this increases the size of the Ridden attacks and shrinks the playable space,
O Left 4 Dead é
sometimes
de
forcing
quem?
the cleaners
Quem
out
que
of their
produzia
favorite
ele?
positions, right? So when a cleaner team
É
is
do
white
mesmo
for the
produtor
field,
do jogo,
the points
desse
are
jogo
scored
aí.
for
É
how
do...
long
Não,
you
não,
survive.
não, mas quem que
Then
era o
both
jogo?
teams swap, and then they go
Left
at it from
4
the other side.
Dead.
The team
Era
that runs
da-
the clock the longest as the cleaners is the winner.
Da
Now,
Valve.
I understand you can play as all the different
Já
cleaners
que a Valve
in
não
both
quer
co-op
fazer
and
outro,
PvP.
eles
Do you
foram
have
pra
a
alguém que
favorite character
queira.
you play as?
So I have a couple.
Então existe muita chance dele ser exatamente uma versão nova do Left 4 Dead com outro nome.
She can also instantly help teammates that have fallen during battle. All of our cleaners have special perks, so that one is hers.
Let's jump into another trailer that goes a little more in depth on the Ridden's progression through PvP. Check it out.
Era da Valve, mas a produtora já era a Turtle Rock Studios, né?
Ah, sim, mas é aquilo, né? Tipo.
É a mesma produtora, né? É o mesmo estúdio que tá fazendo.
Você não tem aquela publisher, você usa outra.
É que assim, a única coisa que eu faço assim, esse jogo tem tudo isso pra ter 3 demonstrações.
É que eu acho que assim, é aquilo, a gente volta naquilo que você tava falando sobre essa situação meio complicada que a Warner Games está passando. A Warner Games chegou a um ponto que, principalmente aqui no Brasil, eu acho que ela ainda ela distribui jogos para publishers muito grandes. E ela tem um peso na indústria, né? E como ela tá nessa situação assim, ficaria estranho ela não mostrar nada de nada, ela sumir. Então vamos mostrar o que tem.
Inclusive, exatamente, aqui no Brasil ela distribui a Capcom, a EA e a Square Enix.
Então, é bastante coisa, né?
Era dia 2 de
so
outubro.
Brandon, we just saw that each different ridden has their own variants as well as their own mutations on each variant. So can you expand a little more on these special abilities and how they work?
Sure. So at the start of each round, players can choose between 9 playable ridden, each with their own unique abilities. So for example, the Stalker can pounce a player and pull them away from their team, or an Exploder can time their detonation in the middle of a group of cleaners and fling them all in separate directions.
Now, knowing that each ridden has these different abilities, how do they change and improve throughout a match
os modos,
and
eu não sei
improve the
pra que
ridden's
eles
chance of
derem
winning?
So as
tanta
the
atenção
ridden
pro
battle
modo
against
PVP.
the
Os
cleaners,
modos
they
PVP
gain
desse tipo
points.
de jogo
They
aí
can spend these points
são
on
sempre as
team-wide
piores
upgrades
coisas que
called
tem pra jogar.
mutations. Mutations upgrade and improve a lot of
eu
different things.
Pouco joga uma semana, depois esquece.
Effects to their
Eu
abilities.
concordo,
They might
exatamente, eu
buff
também
the
acho a
common
mesma
AI
coisa.
waves
É por isso que eu tô
and
falando.
strength. So the
E o
really
Saulo
cool thing is
tem toda a
to
razão na
affect the whole
observação
team,
dele.
and they persist between
Eu
rounds.
acho que
As a
essas
ridden
apresentações
team
era
starts
para ter mais
coordinator
coisa,
upgrades,
mas
things can be pretty
com a situação muito
What are some
ruim
strategies that the ridden team can take on in order
da
to get a leg
Warner,
up
que a
on
gente ainda tá,
If the cleaners
cara,
are really
ninguém
sticking
sabe
together,
exatamente
you
o
swap to the
que
wretch and vomit on
a
their
gente
locations.
vai
It's gonna cause them to spread out,
vai
right?
acontecer.
This is gonna open up a
Sobrar,
whole
né?
bunch of
O
opportunities
que vai
for
sobrar?
other ridden players to attack, right?
Talvez
So if,
esse
you get them
espaço
spread
já
out,
tivesse
the
sido
Stalker nearby,
comprado
Stalker used the chaos to grab one of the cleaners and drag
sei
them
lá,
off
para
into the
poder
swarm.
fazer outras
Wretches vomit
coisas, para
also
mostrar outros
slows their
jogos.
victims, so if
E não
a
foi
tall boy who's
mostrado
naturally
porque
pretty slow can attack
talvez
one of those
esteja
slow
com
characters, they're
problema.
gonna really be able to pummel
Não sei,
them.
tô
Another good
chutando,
one is
lógico.
if an exploder waits for a cleaner to go revive their friend, they can use that as an opportunity
É
to
literalmente
charge in and detonate on
uma.
them, sending them
A
flying
gente
and doing immense
tá
amount of damage.
Sounds
fazendo
pretty
uma
brutal. So, with that being said,
suposição,
which is
né?
your favorite ridden to play as?
That has to be the tall boy.
Uma especulação,
It's pretty easy
é
to
a
pick up
palavra
and
certa.
play, and have a lot of fun hitting cleaners across the map.
Speaking
Mas
of
é
fun,
muito
let's talk
esquisito,
about
cara. Muito
weapons.
estranho.
Now, throughout the trailers, you can see a number of different weapons. Can you
eu
go a
nunca tinha
little
visto
deeper into
jogo.
what those weapons are and how they work?
So we really wanted
A
to
não ser
expand on the
que
amount of choices the
realmente a
player had
Warner
in
ache
Back
que
4
esse
Blood
jogo
with
vai
the
ser
weapons. So of course there's handguns,
Smash
shotguns,
hit.
LMGs,
Tremendo.
SMGs, sniper rifles, and a whole bunch of other types of weapons.
Acho
each
até
with
que ela
sort
fez
of like
certo.
Cara,
a
isso aí é
unique
sem
character
dúvida. Isso
feel to
ainda
them.
mais se eles
Now,
colocarem
how deep
crossplay.
does this weapon customization
Vai ser
go?
sucesso
I really want to
tremendo.
know. What are some of the different attachments and options, and how do they
Olha,
change the
eu tenho
gameplay
minhas
overall?
dúvidas, hein?
Absolutely. So there's a lot
Não, eu
of
acho que é, porque o
different,
Left 4 Dead até
customization
hoje ele é
options for your
bem
weapons.
assim.
So
Bem,
throughout the
não,
world,
ele
you
é
can
Querido,
scopes,
digamos assim.
silencers, stocks, sights, all that good stuff. You can mix and match them. So there's a ton of options.
Eu até
Last
acho que eles
question.
fizeram certo em colocar no Game
Absolutely.
Pass
So as I said earlier,
para
I
atingir
really,
o maior
really
número
enjoyed playing Mom, so her
de
shotgun
público
is
maior
definitely top of my
já
list.
desde o
That's a
começo.
solid choice.
Isso
All right,
já
we've learned a little bit
me
about how it
coloca
all
numa
works,
situação
the
de que
cleaners, the
vai
ridden,
ter
the
coisas
mutations,
ali
as well as
dentro
how the
de
customization works for the weapons. Thank
que
you
a gente
so much for joining
de
me,
venda de
Brandon,
roupinhas,
for
de
giving us a little
armas
bit
e
more
não sei o
detail on
quê.
Back 4
Algo
Blood's
me
new
diz
PvP
isso.
mode Swarm.
Thanks for having me. I can't wait for everyone to get their hands on this game.
Você acha que
We're all
pode
really
acontecer
excited.
isso, Jefferson?
Can't wait either. The good news is that you guys
Não
won't
só
have
acho
to
com uma
wait too long.
certeza.
There's an open beta
Mas
coming
talvez
up on
eles não
August
vendam
12th,
roupinhas
with
assim,
an early
eles
access
vendam
portion on August
instruções.
5th available to
Tá,
those who
pode ser,
pre-order.
pode ser.
Acontece
That's all for
aqui
today.
o
Back
Insurgent
4 Blood
Sandstorm.
still has a lot
Você
more to
compra o jogo
reveal
uma
in the coming
vez
months,
e
so
tem as
stay
DLCs. Só que
tuned.
as DLCs só são skins. São
Uhum.
pacotes de skins. Suas armas e os personagens. Eu acho que é esse aí que eles vão fazer.
É isso mesmo? Acabamos? Chegamos ao fim?
Nossa, eles falaram que era mais ou menos uma meia hora, né?
É.
Foram 9 minutos. Se bem que meia hora eles teriam que encher bastante linguiça, né? Ou mostrar um vídeo de gameplay de 11 minutos, como foi do Guardiões da Galáxia.
Até a E3 ali já
There you
pegou
go,
meio...
folks. Back for Blood looks awesome. PvP mode, that was actually a pleasant surprise for me.
Comigo aqui agora.
When I
looks
played the
awesome
game,
and
you know,
looks mesmo,
I
but
the alpha
só
was
isso.
out. I think it was the alpha is what they termed it as.
Só
It was,
isso,
you know,
galera.
a
Então nós temos 20
single-player,
minutos aí pra
cooperative, right, that
começar.
kind of experience, Dan. But, you know, I love me some good old-fashioned,
Gaming Show.
unorthodox
Isso,
PvP
e a galerinha que tá com a
type
gente
games. I
lá
love that
aí
kind
no
of stuff.
YouTube, seja bem-vinda na
responsible amount of the versus mode
no
in Left 4 Dead and Left 4
Facebook.
Dead 2, in which you get to be both the monsters
Deixa eu começar, vamos lá, galera.
and the
Qual,
player
galera, qual que
characters.
foi a
And
pior
Swarm
conferência?
mode that's
A
exactly what I
pior?
wanted from this game.
Da Warner.
And I like the wrinkle
Cara,
where
é
it's, you're going to
impressionante,
die
né?
no
Não
matter
precisa.
what, like
Não
you're
é
actually in a horror
conferência,
movie. At
isso
least
aí
that's
é
what I would
tipo
do in a
um
horror
sneak
movie. I would just
peek,
carry
é
it
só
on.
um, olha,
But here, you have
é
to try and
isso,
rack
tá?
up as big of a time as possible
Verdade, eu
and challenge the
concordo.
other team to
São
beat it. I
esse
think that's a
pique
cool
mesmo,
conceit.
galera.
And like really,
Muito-
like it makes it feel distinct
Muito
from the
fraquinho, né?
campaign mode,
Não
like
tem
you
nem o
might
que
see in
falar,
the
né? Era um
previous game.
vídeo
So I'm excited for
gravado
it.
e tudo
Yeah,
mais.
you and I, we both come from an esports background. You know,
Nossa,
I see
meu
something
Deus,
like that.
dá
It
até
looks
medo.
different.
Tem
and
umas
we know
coisas que dá
Turtle
até
Rock's
medo.
history. having
Falando
tried
nisso,
different
coisas que
games
dão
and
medo é
different
chegar a
unorthodox
informação
multiplayer games,
do
in the
Avatar
past,
hoje,
but
né?
I think
dá
that
medo.
there's some potential there for some fun competition.
I think that
Isso realmente dá muito medo.
Sabe o que chama isso?
rivals or
Limite
something.
de
Like
distância
some
de
fun
e-mail.
competitions, like we get a couple
Pode
G4
ser.
hosts together.
Que brincadeira, cara.
Eu tenho certeza que é isso.
I got you, Jerry.
Graças a
Shameless
Deus,
plug. And then we all play together. We're
matéria
the
tá no
zombies.
site
We're the
já
good
faz
guys.
tempo.
And then we do it in real life.
No, I wouldn't want to do that in real life,
O
especially
pessoal aí
not
tá
after the
falando
week
assim,
we
o que
had.
que o pessoal
David, though,
mais
I know you're a single
gostou
player guy, but I know you also
nessa
play a decent amount of
apresentação
Left 4
do
Dead,
Back
so
4
because of
Blood?
this Back
Ele
4
não tem nem o que falar, né?
What I like about it is, yes, it is, you know, PvP,
Não tem nem
but
o que
it still
votar,
goes
né?
back to
Meu
the
Deus do céu.
single player experience very well, and I think
Bom,
for that
gente,
reason,
falando
it
em
should
encher
appeal to
linguiça,
folks
não vamos ter que
who
encher,
maybe
vamos encher
don't
linguiça
really want
aqui
to
até
dive
chegar
into
a PC
PvP,
Game Show, hein?
but enjoy, you know, the gameplay
PC Game Show
mechanics.
tá
I think there's actually
prometendo,
a
hein?
character or a class
Provavelmente
just for
vai
people like
ter
me in the
demonstração do Dying
PvP,
Light
and that's the
2.
Explorer.
Yes.
I'm going to die a
Vai
lot,
ter
but if
conteúdo
I can take out a
exclusivo
few
na
enemies
Play
with me,
Point.
I don't mind
Eu
dying
não
so
sei
much.
por quê,
Yeah,
porque
exactly.
já teve lá no
It's all right to just
início
run
lá
up
do
there,
dia.
blow yourself up a few
Uma
times.
meia hora
You know
de
what,
Naraka.
man, Michael, it looks like it's going to be a good time.
Provavelmente
Do
a
you
gente
feel
vai ter
like this is something
um
that
novo
you
jogo
can pick
do
up
Works
and
Must
play
Die.
repeated sessions of? Like,
Yeah, I miss having
A
that game where
dublagem
I could just like play
interativa
with my
vai
friends
mostrar
back home and
também
just be really
novidades.
loud and ignorant
Nós vamos
over
ter
comms.
gameplay
Like
do Hello
Left 4 Dead
Neighbor
is
2,
1000% that
um
game
joguinho
for us. We
legal.
can just wow out
Quando
on
presente
Discord or
no
whatever.
gameplay.
But it's really exciting in the sense
A
that
SEGA vai
you know, when you think
revelar
about it, Left 4
alguma
Dead
coisa.
was a source
Provavelmente
deve
vai
ser
ser
o-
relacionado ao
Total Rock obviously
Mankind.
made their bread off that, but the production values of Back 4
A
Blood,
gente vai
you know, this is
ter
their opportunity
anúncios
to
também do
kind of bring
Chernobyl,
back
né,
that,
que é
that magic of
Chernobyl,
Left 4 Dead, but like do it on a much
que é
bigger
jogo
scale,
parecido
and
com o
like
Stalker.
that presentation that we saw, it's like, yo, we're
Vamos
going
ter
all in
anúncios
on this
do
mode with all
EVE
these
Online.
classes, these different characters.
EVE
You know,
Online,
it's
que é
going to be
dos
wild and all
dos
sorts of stuff.
MMOs
So it's
mais
really it's
antigos,
really
né?
promising because that format,
E
that foundation
pioneiro no
is strong enough
sentido
already.
de
That can carry
temática
a new
espacial.
game. But if you put on like a
Nós
lot
vamos
of
ter
mechanics on top of
anúncios
that,
do Chivalry 2.
And funny enough, we did not mention
Provavelmente a Nvidia
that
vai fazer algum
Back 4 Blood
painel.
was also on the Xbox.
E
tem
vai ter uma mensagem.
So you actually
Uhum,
saw
vai ter uma
a few
mensagem
of
da
the
Valve,
different
né?
elements that are going to be coming to this game.
Falando
Something
sobre
that I love,
Steam
Ovely,
Next
Giant
Fest.
Monsters. Giant Monsters always a plus.
Provavelmente o
Oh,
povo tá
giant
especulando
monsters
que
are
a gente vai
freaking
ter um
amazing.
anúncio do
You
novo
saw, I think
console
they
da
said like
Steam.
9 playable
mas
ridden
ninguém sabe, né?
to be fighting the huge monster that we ended up seeing, which was like the
Caramba,
size of
eu
a
fico
building just came in.
impressionado.
So
Se
I'm
for,
trying
eu vou
to
ficar
figure out like,
impressionado.
okay, cool. So we're co-oping this, we're getting in there, we're taking him down together.
Sério mesmo,
But then
velho.
also very excited
É uma
for
coisa que eu não
the PvP moments.
sei até onde vale a
I
pena.
just can't wait to just throw up on friends. Can't do it in real life, so may as well
Eu acho
do it in
que,
a game.
matando o português, vareia. Tá?
Não, eu digo porque parece que esse negócio de console tá meio console já está meio consolidado.
Consolidado, né?
Entre PlayStation, Xbox e Nintendo é muito difícil entrar.
Talvez aquelas que teriam poder de grana, de fogo para fazer isso. Que seria tanto o Google quanto o Amazon decidiram não fazer uma máquina, né?
Exato. Ir para as nuvens. A não ser que a Steam também parta para esse caminho, né?
Well, you know, if there's one thing a game like Back 4 Blood is good for, it's good for yelling at friends and having a good time. One friend who I love yelling at, it's Greg Miller, who's over
Aí
with Jackie.
sim,
Greg,
eu acho um
take it away.
caminho mais palpável.
Thank you,
Você ir
Golden
para
Boy. Always a pleasure to yell at you.
ir para o VR, eu acho uma coisa mais palpável do que tentar um console. Tudo bem que seria um PC, mas
You know what we want? Let's keep
não
talking
sei,
a
eu
little
acho
bit about
que
Back 4 Blood.
para eles eu acho que teria que ser diferente.
Yeah, we still got a long
way.
Mas aí é apenas uma opinião.
What
Mas
did
esse
you
negócio da
think?
Steam
PvP,
eu tô
Back 4
meio,
Blood.
cara, eu sei, tem gente especulando um monte de coisa, cara. Isso eu vou acompanhar com muita atenção.
Uma
coisa que é certa mesmo é que eles vão dar um anúncio sobre a Steam Fest, né?
Ah, sim, Steam Fest que já começa essa semana, né?
Acho que é sexta-feira, não é? Dia 16?
Dia
16 é quarta-feira.
Quarta-feira.
Termina e 3 começa.
Steam Fest.
We're going to give you cleaners with depth. We're going to give you ridden with depth.
Então 16 vai 2022 aí, Steam Fest. Então já preparem seus bolsos. Provavelmente vai ter aquelas ofertas legais também para compra.
Esse aí e gosta daquele joguinho sem DRM,
I adored
aproveita que
Left 4 Dead, but I only played it co-op. I've never been the PvP person.
You're a lover, not a fighter.
Well, it's interesting to get to this point now, you know, in 2021, and talk about this and look for what we just saw from this presentation. Because I can see me and my friends playing that. I can see Kinda Funny doing streams of that. And I think this round, you know, best of 3, switch sides, go through who can clear it the fastest in the time. It gets really interesting.
Coisa boa.
When you have somebody,
and I think also about how I guess my,
confirmar nada nem entrar online. Você pode pegar o seu instalador ali e guardar, fazer backup na nuvem, os seus HDs aí, fazer o que quiser.
But in reality, right, there's for me personally been
ainda há esperanças ainda.
There's been these different things that are challenging.
Tem muito jogo bom lá,
and then
Windows
switch up the
Deliverance,
teams, right? When somebody like Mike
Diablo,
is way too powerful and is too good as a cleaner,
Metal Gear
we'll put him
Solid,
over on the Ridden side and have that try to balance for it. I thought it sounded really good. I'm right there with you. I like this idea. One of the things we're talking about is, you know, for every round, the area of play shrinking. So that it does become, you sat there, you establish your base of operations.
É uma opção pra você fugir da prisão das outras lojas.
Okay, I'm here for that for sure.
Incluindo Cyberpunk, né?
I was leaning towards Holly with the bat, you know, me, I'm all melee over here.
I'm with the shotgun.
Cyberburger.
Mom with the shotgun.
And then when you think of the Ridden, who are you thinking?
Honestly,
eles estão
fazendo,
preparando o caminho para uma versão.
I do. I'm just like, that was too fun. Though being the exploder
que
could
funcione.
be. I heard Damon as well. That could be really fun.
See, Crusher, I think I'm in line for.
Cara, Cyberpunk ainda não voltou na PSN. Você consegue entender isso?
Eles fizeram uma entrevista essa semana sobre isso. Semana passada, né? Domingo já começou outra semana. E eles falam muito sobre isso, né? Eles estão. Que pra eles tá tudo certo, que agora depende da Sony voltar.
Não sei se é tão simples assim, não,
viu? Eu também acho que não é tão simples.
Eu acho que o baque ali foi pesado.
Foi tão pesado que as ações dele, da empresa, diminuíram quase 60%.
We are going to be supporting this in our up-and-coming beta that people will be able to play this August.
Eu até acho que assim, a Sony talvez tenha sido um pouco rígida demais nesse sentido, sabe? De ainda não permitir depois de tudo que eles já tentaram arrumar. Mas vai saber se eles conseguiram passar no teste de qualidade até então, né?
Is your more traditional kind of style, where you're going against the AI. With the 4 cleaners against the Ridden.
Sony falou,
and then PvP,
da Sony foi
where you
também
can fight against other players online.
Uma entrevista bem recente falou sobre isso, falou, olha galera, é o seguinte, cara,
in PvP we have a separate progression tree
o jogo não tava do jeito que a gente queria,
which is the zombie
e que a gente tinha que tomar essa providência e
points to players depending on how
tomar uma providência e tomaram.
Porque na verdade eu acho que o que mais pesou nessa vou dizer dessa visão, mas nessa atitude da Sony, sabe o que foi? O número de reembolsos que foram pedidos.
Exatamente, foi isso mesmo. E foi
isso aí que pesou. É todo um processo, né, pra fazer isso.
Custo, né? E muito custo.
Sim.
Não, e isso e talvez até por o sistema da Sony de reembolso não ser tão bom assim, realmente não é, mas ela decidiu, falou, não, vamos parar por aqui.
Mas o impacto também foi grande no GOG, né? Porque a galera que comprou por lá e pediu um reembolso, tem gente que já tá 3 meses e nada.
Não reembolsaram ainda?
Pela quantidade de aplicações que teve.
Caramba, hein?
Cara, realmente.
Não dá nem pra. Não tem nem o que falar, né?
Mas galera, não é mole não.
Pelo menos no PC agora o jogo tá bom.
Mas acho que o PC era a plataforma que ele tava rodando melhor, né? Ou menos pior.
Menos pior, é. Realmente, era o que estava menos pior, mas assim, cara, não tem o que falar, né, cara? Hoje em dia não dá mais pra gente viver nesse mundo que as empresas pegam e simplesmente, vamos lá, não sei o que, tá. Não, vai, lança assim mesmo.
Joga aí.
Não dá, cara, não dá.
Não, mas recentemente foi o Elite Dangerous, né, com o Odyssey.
Aconteceu a mesma coisa? Não tava pronto ainda e jogaram?
Pior. Sim, eles prometeram um mês, né, de closed beta e já lançaram a versão de PC, só que a versão de console só vai chegar no fim do ano. Problema, quando a versão do Odyssey saiu pro PC, a versão final tava pior do que de todos os betas. Todos os tipos de bugs que você imagina que poderiam acontecer no jogo, aconteceu no lançamento. Então, o impacto foi tão grande na Frontier que eles pediram desculpas e realmente falaram que o Odyssey, pra PC, ele é um... Não é nem um beta, é um early access, e que a versão final só vai ficar pronta quando lançarem para console. Ou seja, todo mundo que comprou tá servindo de cobaia. Aí, fizeram isso por quê? Porque hoje a Frontier, ela não é inteiramente, como é que fala? Ela não é do David Braben, mas o David Braben é quem criou a empresa, certo? Ele não é o acionista, ele ainda é o acionista majoritário, mas ele vendeu 10% da empresa para uma empresa chinesa lá. E empresa de capital aberto tem que mostrar resultado, né? Então eles venderam e anunciaram, como é que fala? E lançaram, né, e anunciaram o Odyssey mais cedo para fechar o ano fiscal com superávit. Só que o que aconteceu foi o que aconteceu com a CD Projekt. Todo mundo pedindo refund. E a imagem da empresa ficando borrada.
Pessoal, o Saulo acho que é mais fácil para confirmar aí. Uma coisa que tinha me passado meio batido na conferência da Bethesda. Strangers of Paradise, a demo já está disponível no PlayStation 5, é isso mesmo?
Não. Diz que estaria disponível em breve. Na Bethesda?
O jogo Strangers of Paradise. Da Bethesda não, desculpa, da Square Enix, perdão. Desculpa. Eu tô com a informação aqui no Twitter que a demo de Strangers of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins já está disponível para PlayStation 5. Eu também tinha visto que estaria em breve.
Talvez esse breve deles é bem breve, né?
Seja questão de minutos. Falando em coisas estranhas, hoje tá coisas estranhas. O Twitter oficial do Xbox aqui do Brasil errou as datas e quase causou um tumulto.
Foi da Ubisoft.
Não, da Xbox também. Eu te mandei da Ubisoft. Mas o do Xbox, eles confundiram, eles colocaram a data como se Halo Infinite fosse lançado no dia 9 de novembro. E aí caiu a internet, né, o pessoal que gosta de Halo. Mas na realidade, eles se confundiram, essa data é do Forza Horizon 5. E aí eles pediram desculpas. Ai, pessoal, não é fácil não. É E3, galera, não é muita coisa, galera. Eu tô só vendo essa informação do Strangers of Paradise porque é bem legal. E realmente eu tô vendo aqui mas não estou encontrando uma informação. Já estará disponível nesse domingo.
Hoje.
Exatamente. Então vamos lá, só pra galera não ficar doida aí. Vai estar disponível hoje à meia-noite, disponível aqui no Brasil a partir da meia-noite, e vai ficar disponível até o dia 24 de junho. Tá? Então somente para PlayStation 5. O jogo então fica a partir da meia-noite e vai até dia 24 de junho. É isso mesmo. Até a meia-noite do dia 24. Tá.
Então você já pode deixar preparado aí pra baixar.
Fechou, meu amigo, fechou. Vamos fazer uma livezinha desse. Dia 24 é depois do final da E3, né? Então tá bom, então dá.
Ai.
Galera, faltando 5 minutos aí pra começar o...
PC Gaming Show.
Isso, PC Gaming Show. A gente tá dando aqui as últimas informações que... Cara, é minuto a minuto, cara. E3 não para, filho. E3 não para. Então, o Open Beta de, como a gente viu aí, de Back 4 Blood, começa no dia 12 de agosto. O que mais? Estou passando aqui. As informações estão saindo.
Kick me off the internet and I would be so upset. And I was just like, oh my god, this whole world was being unlocked for me.
Depois, mais tarde, a gente tem a Future Games Show ainda hoje.
Future Games Show. O que vocês acharam do Babylon's Fall?
Sinceramente, cara, eu achei nada demais.
Nem eu. Não sei o que achar.
O pessoal daqui da internet, eu tô nas reações da internet que eu gosto. O pessoal falou a mesma coisa, cara. Falou que o jogo, aquele jogo que nós vimos da Square, o cara é exatamente a cara, e colocaram aqui os dois do jogo da Capcom, né?
Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry. Cara, eles colocaram as fotos dos dois aqui. Cara, são muito iguais, cara. São muito iguais. Não é mole não, galera. Tá pensando que é fácil, é? Não é fácil não, mas
eu já sei o porquê aquela hora eu fiquei meio em dúvida se o pessoal da Square tava falando do Babylon's Fall ou do Nier Automata, ou do Nier que seja. É porque é a Platinum que faz o Nier.
É a Platinum. E o cara deu a entrevista usando a camiseta.
Isso.
Aí eu fui, né, no embalo achando que eles tinham mudado de assunto, mas não tinham não. Foi erro deste que apresenta este show aqui.
Let's target PC players. Let's talk to them on a different level. Jackie, what do you get?
Jefferson foi se preparar pra vir com tudo no PC.
Ele tá lá olhando tudo, cara. Ele tá, o cara tá se coçando. Ele falou, cara, tô doido, cara, tô doido.
Só que só tem um problema, não adianta nada eles mostrarem tudo aí e a gente não poder comprar placa de vídeo pra jogar.
Que isso, cara. Pelo amor de Deus.
Isso aí tá sendo um problema bastante frequente, né? Isso acontece com os consoles também, né? Não adianta nada mostrar tudo isso e não ter console pra vender.
Uma informação que a gente... Eu não sei se a gente já sabia dessa informação, por isso que eu vou dar ela. Diablo 2, a versão agora remaster, né? Resurrected. Ela vai sair pro Nintendo Switch também.
Sim.
A gente já sabia, né?
E aí, galera, quem quiser comprar, tá aí. Nintendo Switch, tem pra vender em qualquer lugar.
Isso por enquanto ainda tem, né?
Cara, mas eu ouvi falar que até eles estão sofrendo pra produção.
Sim.
Não tem chip não, cara. Até eles estão sofrendo pra produzir. Então tá complicado, como diz o outro. Vamos produzir chip aí, galera. A gente quer mais videogame na parada aí.
Não, e é o seguinte, eles não querem produzir mais porque é uma infraestrutura violenta, certo? Eles vão gastar bilhões para fazer fábricas.
Em algum momento a demanda vai reduzir.
E se a demanda reduzir, é só prejuízo.
E essa demanda aumentou por vários motivos, né? A questão da pandemia, de todo mundo precisar de máquina nova para trabalhar em casa, a questão dessa droga, dessas criptomoedas, né? Vai fazer criptomoeda com, sei lá, com pedra pome, sei lá, para de encher o saco.
E assim, a gente vê que quando o negócio tá ficando sério mesmo, é quando, como é que fala, os fabricantes de carros, né, automotivos.
Sim, a Volkswagen paralisou a produção de carros por causa de falta de chip.
É isso aí, galera. Já vou passar aqui pra tela grande, pois estamos começando a PC Gaming Show.
Space Year 2021. Having spent the last 12 months hunkered down and Definitely not hiding in a subterranean bunker. Our
Já
heroes
começaram bem,
have
ó.
fled Earth aboard a spacecraft with
É uma
one
3080.
purpose. To bring you the hottest trailers, to bring you the best interviews, to bring you the PC Gaming Show.
Tudo no... Ó. Tudo na base de Star Wars e Star Trek. É, tá mais Star Trek, né?
Situation calamitous.
Sean!
Situation calamitous. Situation
Cara, eu acho que tá quente essa placa de vídeo, hein?
Superaquecimento.
Superaquecimento.
We have so much to live for. I'm pretty sure Half-Life 3 is going to be announced this year.
3, 2.
It is so good to be back, gang, and this year, we're in space!
Aye, aye, Captain. Happy to be remotely on board, Sean. Well, I'm so glad you were able to finance this year's PC gaming show by, you know, selling all those black market graphics cards you've been hoarding.
Yes, a crime with absolutely no real-world consequences. Hey, Frankie, wait a minute. Is that a 65-ton catapult mech model CPLTC-1 as featured in MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries?
Sean, I always knew you had immaculate taste. It most certainly is.
I can't wait for this year's significantly more weaponized PC gaming show to go off without a hitch. Which reminds me, Debbot, can you run a quick hitch scan?
Yes, Sean. Of course, Sean. Running hitch scan.
Oh, and I also want to warmly welcome someone new to the crew. Mika Burton, welcome.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here and look forward to bringing all of you fresh new PC games and hardware.
Hitch scan complete. 0 hitches found presently or in 13,908,665 possible futures.
Hooray!
Yeah!
So what's the plan, Cap?
Well, Frankie, Debbot's gonna send you the coordinates for your first target, now. Your targets might be exclusive interviews, trailer premieres, or any number of amazing new computer games to beam down to the fine people on Earth.
Mission received.
Now, this is going to
tá
continue until
patrocinando,
all the
né?
targets
O
are acquired
evento.
and our mission is completed smoothly and without a hitch. Isn't that right, Debbot?
Yes, no hitches located, Sean. Not a single hitch in sight.
But first, let's teleport down to the stage to check in on E3 happenings. The only reason we're allowed to legally be back on Earth. Oh, planet Earth!
Oh, great to be back, right? Am I right?
One of my favorite planets in the whole galaxy.
It's all right.
And thank God that teleporter was conveniently built just out of frame of camera. Mika, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the PC Gaming Show 2021. It feels great to be back on a live stage once again. Over the next 90 minutes, we're going to bring you a showcase of some of the most exciting upcoming PC titles with world premieres and exclusive interviews.
And if dozens of new trailers wasn't enough for you guys, later in the show, we are going to tell you how to win a custom MechWarrior 5 themed PC powered by Intel. So you're going to want to stick around for that.
Now, make sure to keep out a special look for a special promo code throughout the show from Humble Bundle, during which you can get a ticket to get Civilization 6 Platinum Edition for just $10. But right now, we're gonna kick things off with Naraka Blade Point, probably the most original entry in the Battle Royale genre this year. Let's go!
Oh, Naraka.
Naraka de novo.
Bom, já sabemos quais os jogos que apareceram mais vezes no evento.
O Naraka já é a terceira vez, não é?
Não. Segunda.
Não, terceira.
Ontem?
Terceira, ontem ele apareceu.
Apareceu onde? Ontem.
O Naraka apareceu numa das conferências que nós fizemos. Apareceu sim. Só que apareceu só a parte de
Só propaganda.
Só propaganda. Só um trailer.
Propaganda é propaganda, né?
Não foi propaganda, foi um trailer. E aí hoje nós estamos vendo aparecendo em 2 conferências. É outro trailer, pelo menos. O lançamento é global, dia 12 de agosto. E já tem um Open Beta aí.
16.
Não, um Open Beta vai começar.
16 a 22.
Novas armas, e aí os valores.
Ó, lembrando que eles foram amigáveis e em reais custa R$80.
Versão standard.
Qual
né?
versão que é a versão mais cara?
A versão mais cara é 210. É 80, 140 e 210.
É, a versão standard, então.
R$80. É preço regional, né? Porque eles colocaram $20 e eles converteram por R$4 e não por mais de 5.
And be sure to check out GeForce Now, currently available for PC, Mac, Shield, Android.
Um detalhe que a gente não comentou, mas agora falando da GeForce Now eu lembrei, a Microsoft anunciou que em breve o Brasil será incluso no Cloud, no xCloud.
Mas tá em beta aqui, né?
Pro Brasil acho que não, você tem que fazer um esquema pra conseguir acessar.
Não, tá em beta.
Então ele vai ser liberado, é uma coisa assim que eles anunciaram.
Queimada.
É isso mesmo, ele tá em beta, tá? Você só precisa se registrar no projeto. E daí eles te informam se você participa ou não.
Então não é isso. Então ele vai ser liberado pra todo mundo que é Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Essa que é a diferença, então.
Beleza.
Ele mesmo em beta, né? Tipo, ele vai ser liberado pra todos os assinantes.
Make sure to check out Dodgeball Academia out soon from Humble Games. Ooh, that was sweet. Don't you agree, DevBot?
Sure. Whatever you say, Sean. I agree with whatever you say.
I'm sensing a little bit of resentment there, buddy. Has something rusted your ports?
Nothing. I am happy to play second fiddle to a captain as charming and handsome as you. I have also definitely not dedicated multiple cores to computing revenge plans in a range of lethalities.
Great!
New target acquired, Cap. It looks like Chivalry 2 with a special word from Steve Piggott, CEO and creative director of Torn Banner Studios.
Hey guys, Steve Piggott, founder of Torn Banner Studios and creative director on Chivalry 2, which just launched 5 days ago. I'm so happy to be here at the PC Gaming Show. Chivalry 2, if you don't know, is a first-person slasher, which is like a first-person shooter, except instead of guns and grenades, you've got swords, battle axes, longbows, and players are fighting it out on these huge 64-player battlefields. It's all about creating those epic sword-fighting duels that you see in medieval Hollywood movies, and also that huge clash, the Battle of the Bastards kind of chaos and carnage. So the post-launch support plan is going to look like a mixture of mid and massive level content updates coming out across this year. One of the things we're most excited about is taking it to different eras in the medieval period. Before we've done the early period, now we're going closer to the later period in the upcoming update where you're going to get a bit more refined medieval armors and refined atmospheres that you can then go in and tarnish it and smear blood all over. But we really want to take players into different experiences and make each of our maps its own game mode and make it something that medieval army would actually do when they go into a space. And when you come across these pristine gardens and this beautiful castle, you get to tear it all down and cause it's a canvas for your destruction.
Our passion for Chivalry 2 is basically bottom line. It's the game that got us onto the scene and started the company, and it's the game that's going to take us so much further.
With the post-launch plan for Chivalry 2, the game at launch is a foundation. It's intentionally been built to be extended.
It's not just out and done. We're going to support it a lot with post-launch content.
Gallancourt is the first TO map that's coming out post-launch.
Gallancourt is going to take us to the high medieval times or the late medieval times.
It really captures the Agathian ideals of being this like noble, rich, wealthy place where the prosperous live.
You're going to feel like you're sieging Tower of London if it was on a port where ships could dock into. You'll also be blowing up a couple ships, which is fun. We've got a ton of weapons coming in at launch, but there'll be more and more added to it post-launch as well.
A new fighting style is really going to change up the experience and change how you have to fight everyone. Post-launch content is something that we're going to be working on for a long time.
The game is really going to at least double in size for free.
É isso aí, Devolver 2 já está
Next up,
disponível
we
aí
have an
pra
exciting look at Dying Light 2, and make sure to stick around to find out how you could win a custom Mech Warrior PC from our friends at Intel.
Roaming. Chega para Xbox, PlayStation e PC.
My name is Piotr Szymanek. I'm narrative director in Dying Light 2, Stay Human. Today, especially for the viewers of the PC Gaming Show, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the Dying Light universe. So, stay tuned.
O Dying Light 2.
Every tragedy begins somewhere. This one
Ser
started
todo
with a
localizado
virus
em
that escaped
português
from
do
Haran,
Brasil.
the city we met in the
Graças a
first
Deus.
part of the game. And
Merecemos,
it reached
né,
the
galera?
whole
Pelo amor de
world, including the city where Dying Light 2 takes place. Remember January 6, 2025. That day, later known as Black Monday, the military ordered chemicals to be dropped on the city. It was a mistake, a huge mistake. The chemicals mixed with water penetrated the soil, killing plants, turning most people into bloodthirsty monsters. Don't think of them as zombies though. They are more like half-alive, suffering people who attack everything that lives as a result of their pain and rage. Those who survived the chemical raid took refuge on the rooftops. A new order has been born in the city. People live on rooftops, monsters in the streets. Nobody in their right mind would dare to come down. Well, let's say almost nobody. The exception is the main character of Dying Light 2, Aiden. But why is he braver than others? How did he develop such a unique parkour and combat skills? Believe me guys, I would gladly answer all these questions, but I'm not here to spoil it for you. Let me tell you one thing.
Same nightmare haunts me every night. I'm locked up with other kids. I don't know what he did to me, but he did it every day, over and over, looking for something he couldn't find. The worst part was that he did the same to my sister. I'll never forget her scream when they separated us. What could I do? They had rifles, and we were 5 years old. And there was a fire, explosions, chaos. I got away. Soldiers took me out of the city, but my sister stayed there. My Mia. I left her.
We meet Aiden as one of the many, many children undergoing mysterious medical research. The last thing Aiden remembers from that time is extreme pain, then a fire, and a little girl that was being tested with him. Her name was Mia. She was his sister. What happened next after the fire? Is Mia still alive? The following years haunted Aiden with these questions and with guilt over leaving her.
Deve falando mais do que
Moreover,
precisa.
Mia is
Então,
the
tá me
only answer
lembrando
to the
os
question
velhos
who Aiden
PC
really
Gaming
is.
Show, né?
Now in 2036, we meet Aiden when, for the first time during his pilgrimage, he finds a clue about how to find his sister.
Era bem
Aiden's
chato
path
mesmo.
to the
Duravam
truth
horas,
is
né, o
tough,
PC Game Show
full
antigamente.
of challenges and adventures. The difficult choices to make as well as their consequences await you. You're going to discover them all in December 2021.
Vamos lá, data 7 de dezembro.
Já tinha sido anunciado,
Já
né?
tinha sido anunciado?
Já. Outro dia que eles fizeram aquele evento, acho que foi dia 27 de maio, se eu não me engano, eles fizeram um evento.
Chegando para Xbox.
That was
PlayStation,
Dying
PC.
Light 2, and it looks great.
And spooky.
Whew, well, we are here back on the E3 stage so we can get closer to your comments and reactions to what you're seeing on this year's PC Gaming Show.
That is right, Sean. So you out there, keep your comments coming in. And as you're watching this year, we want to get your input on a subject that Sean and I are pretty passionate about, PC building. So this year, we've put a number of prototype PCs based on MechWarrior 5, but we're only going to manufacture one of them. And you get to pick which custom design becomes our
Ei, qual que vocês
flagship
escolheriam?
PC for this year's PC Gaming Show.
Nossa, muda muito,
by the
né?
11th Gen Intel Core
Quase
i9
nada.
processor.
Eu fico com
That is
6, vai,
correct.
pronto.
Each of the prototype PCs that you see before you on the screen are paired
Pra
with
mim,
one of the
pode ser
6
também, eu gosto
factions of
de
MechWarrior
azul.
5.
É,
The
a
Free
pessoa
Worlds
por
League, the Draconis Combine,
Tem
the
que ser
Federated
os seis.
Suns, the
Ó, o Rocket
Compelling
lá, o cheiro dele, né?
Confederation, and more.
So cast your vote now for which faction and custom PC you want to win, and help us pick the best design.
I'm currently personally pulling for the Draconis Combine because, as you can see by my beautiful patch, I'm the biggest fan of MechWarrior 5 on the PC Gaming Show.
Well, all right. Well, we'll check in later to see which group survives this MechWarrior showdown. But for now, let's check in with our very own mech pilot, Frankie Ward, who went on a special mission to get a closer look at Sega and Amplitude Studios' upcoming strategy game, Humankind.
In Humankind, you will be creating a civilization as unique as you are. And speaking of unique, it's me, Frankie Ward. Looking kind of good, don't you think? Wondering how I got into the game? Let me show you. Are you ready to play against me?
Eu joguei o alpha desse jogo aí.
You can beat me.
Tem lá no site, galera. Tem no YouTube também. É legal, mas você tem que gostar demais de estratégia.
Get ready to play against me in the Humankind closed beta, starting now.
É isso aí, Humankind. Chegando dia 17 de agosto. Joguinho da Sega. Não agradou muito a vocês dois, pelo jeito.
Nope. Nada a declarar, viu? Achei bem ok.
Your cloud-based artificial intelligence, and while it could be lonely without a physical body, I am streaming to you from GeForce Now, where you can play hit games like Rocket League and Apex Legends on nearly any device. With a library of over 900 games and new titles.
Já pode estar oficialmente aqui no Brasil? Não, né?
GeForce Now? Acho que não, né?
Mas tá nos dias aí, né? Se não me engano, vai chegar.
Olha o game aí.
Orcs Must Die 3.
Hey! You want it? Come and get it.
Orcs Must Die. Chegando dia 23 de julho.
Joining me to talk about Orcs Must Die 3.
Querem dar fim nos orcs.
Design director Jerome K. Jones. Welcome, Jerome.
Thanks, Sean. Glad to be here.
So, for anyone who's never seen an Orcs Must Die game, what is the Orcs Must Die series all about?
Well, Orcs Must Die 3 is a third-person tower defense game. So basically, there are tons of orcs and bad guys trying to get into these rifts, and the player has to stop them. We give players tons of weapons and traps and tools to do this, and while you're defending the rifts, you can play solo, or you can invite a friend and play co-op.
Eu acho que eu publiquei essa notícia ontem. Eu vou procurar aqui e mando aí no chat. Dá
There are 2 new campaigns, but the main new story campaign takes place about 25 years after Orcs Must Die 2. So not only will the fans be able to catch up on any new developments with the Order, but they will also place some new heroes in our all-new war scenarios, which are these new massive levels where you fight hundreds of orcs on the battlefields outside of the fortress themselves.
Ah, não, a notícia falava justamente que ele seria anunciado hoje no PC Game Show. Então é isso aí que você falou mesmo.
Random elements against the player, making the levels more challenging.
I want to know about the toys. What are the new weapons and the new traps that are coming?
We added war machines and war guardians. So a war machine is like, there are these massive traps, like you might release a giant tornado on the battlefield, or you'll climb into a catapult and you'll fire at giant orc armies. And then the war guardians are it's like putting other war mages on the battlefield with you to fight with you, except they have their own attacks and their own special abilities.
Well, I gotta ask then, when and where can we play Orcs Must Die 3?
So OMD3 is coming out on July 23rd on Steam, PlayStation,
a gente acabou de ganhar uma espectadora nova aqui, ó. A Yasmin, minha sobrinha, tá assistindo a transmissão aqui junto com a gente.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Jerome K. Jones. Once again, just a few more weeks to wait for Orcs Must Die 3. For now, though, it's time for us to take a look at Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song.
Estamos com qualidade na nossa audiência.
Falou Vampire the Masquerade de quê?
Exclusivo, hein?
É o próximo título?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You are here. Where are you hiding, sweetie? Halsey. Halsey, get out here. You come for me and mine. But first, you need to find us.
All I want is to be with my little girl. Is that so much to ask?
Vampire, that's good. Awesome. Vai chegar para PlayStation 4, Xbox.
Hello. É um dos títulos mais aguardados que a Nacon publica, né?
Exato. Não é que ele colocou exclusivo, mas não é. O trailer era exclusivo da PlayStation.
Today, we'd like to showcase some new and exciting gameplay footage of our oversized.
O trailer é exclusivo da apresentação, né? Não o jogo em si.
Exato.
Gigabash. Já gostei disso daí, hein? Bem legal.
Chegando para PS4 e PC.
Let's check out a trailer for Lemnis Gate and make sure you hang around afterwards for the developer interview with Sean.
Mankind is
facing total annihilation.
We stand on the verge of extinction.
Infertility spreading across the globe.
Humanity's last living generation.
a major scientific breakthrough.
Yet there is hope for our future.
The project known as the Lemnis Gate.
But if we are to survive, first, we must go back. 3, 2, 1.
Let's go. Shield. Protect and serve.
You have only one mission. Activate the Lemnis
Gate. Chegando dia 3 de agosto.
É o novo FPS da Frontier.
Eu
já me inscrevi lá no beta
Joining us to talk about Lemnis Gate is the game director from Rat Loop Games Canada. It's James Anderson. Thanks for joining us, James.
Sean, it's great to be here.
Now, let's begin by asking, what the heck is a first-person shooter turn-based strategy game?
The entire game is set inside of a 25-second time loop. So instead of playing continuously, you play for 25 seconds turn by turn. So, for example, I'll take a turn and play for 25 seconds, and then you'll take a turn and play for 25 seconds. And then we, turn by turn, layer new characters into the same 25-second time loop. So, for example, I may run down a hallway and throw a grenade, killing one of the operatives. But then on the next turn, you may intercept my operative before he threw the grenade. So we have Retrieve XM, Seek and Destroy, Classic Deathmatch, and we have a game mode with Domination.
Can you walk me through a little bit of like what a few turns at the start of a round looks like?
You can see the board, you can see the time loop, everything that's happening. And then we both get time to like observe, plan, and then execute our moves.
When and where can we play it?
So Lemnis Gate will be launching on August 3rd. It's open for pre-orders right now on Steam. And we're coming up to a open beta in July. The game will launch on PC and console, both current and next-gen platforms.
Thank you so much for joining us, James Anderson. Once again, that is the genre-bending, first-person shooter, turn-based strategy game, Lemnis Gate. Now, we're not the only one marooned in the stars out here. Coming up next, let's take a look at Next Space Rebels.
And this no man's land has a technical term. It's called common, which means, my friends, that space is for everyone. And I mean everyone!
Next Space Rebels.
Vamos fazer foguetes, é isso?
It's alive! It's alive!
Next Space Rebels.
Then come on in.
You guys just saw Next Space Rebels. And hey, if you play enough of that game, maybe you'll get good enough at building rockets to join us up in orbit. But don't do anything illegal like Day 9 did. Last break, we set up our Intel and MechWarrior 5 custom PC contest and asked you guys at home to vote for the winners. Well, we're just down to 3 houses now, with Davion, Russell Haig, and Liao being eliminated. So we're up to those factions, press F to pay respects, etc., etc. Now that means that we only have 3 houses left: Kurita, Steiner, and
na verdade as outras caíram, né?
Now, because the winner will
o vermelho tá ganhando.
build a custom MechWarrior 5 themed PC powered by Intel. So let's keep the show moving. And next up, it's a brand new medieval RPG. This is War Tales.
100 years have passed since the rise of the Edoran Empire and its untimely demise following the Great Plague. In these troubled times of quarreling factions and outlaws roaming the land, work is not scarce for a band of mercenaries. The stories of this age have been recorded. They are known as the War Tales.
Gostei. Em turnos.
Um RPG em turnos.
Parece que é mundo aberto.
E parece ser cooperativo, né?
Cara, animal. Vai dar pra você preparar o campo de batalha antes de você começar, que nem mais ou menos no Hoje, né? E no Baldur's Gate, né?
É isso que eu ia falar, ele me lembrou o Westland.
That was the debut of War Tales, an open-world RPG from Shiro Games about leading a mercenary troop on a sprawling adventure. And speaking of mercenaries, our battle for the best custom PC based on MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries continues. We'll be back live on stage soon, so make sure you keep voting for the PC build you like the most and head over to pcgamer.com/IntelMW5 for your chance to win. So, how about another game announcement? This is E3 after all, and this year's PC gaming show is so full of games set in space, it's starting to feel a little crowded up there. But the next game we have to show you is very special. It is the world-exclusive reveal of Ixion, a deep settlement management game set in the stars. In Ixion, you struggle to maintain a space station, stockpiling resources, managing external and internal threats, and rescuing the survivors of other failed expeditions. We think this will be a brilliant entry into the genre when it releases. So here is your first look at Ixion.
Olha lá, uma World Premiere.
Nossa, é verdade, o Xbox esse ano não usou nenhum World Premiere.
Não.
Tiraram essa marca.
The Earth, our home. She is unique. Held in its bosom are the ingredients of evolution. Beyond raw survival, beyond the safety of comfort, we, humanity, pursue something greater. We have learnt, persevered, shaped our knowledge from that which is found in the furthest realms of science. However, humanity has brought destruction to the earth, polluted its blood, choked its breath. Today we are paying the price for this. We know the taste of a dying world. But the earth is not to be our grave. A mother does not wish to see her children disappear with her. She wishes to see instead courage in her children, to carry on. Dolos carries this courage. We have gone further than any nation, moved faster than any corporation, hand in hand with those who, like us, carry that courage. The Tycoon Station is both an epilogue of these endeavors and a prologue to humanity's next steps. Our Council of Scientists leads the vanguard. They know, as do we all, that the survival of humanity now depends on what we glimpse out there in the dark. That we are masters of our own destiny. That we must go as a species bound together, pushing further into the unknown. We set sail on this new sea because there is hope to be found, horizons to explore, and because our very existence depends on it. I give you the stars. I give you the Vol engine.
Ixion, é isso?
A pronúncia eu não sei.
É, a pronúncia
é Ixion, deve ser,
Ixion,
né?
É. Chegando ano que vem. Cara, eu sou louco por jogos deste tipo visual, eu acho muito legal. Chaining Tiles, chegando para um monte de coisa, PlayStation, Xbox, PC.
É tão rápido que nem deu pra ver aonde ele vai ser lançado, né?
Exatamente, os caras tão
virado no Jiraiya.
Parece aquelas, parece aqueles quando os caras negócio de cigarro, né, quando vai terminar, ou de agora é mais a gente vê muito em remédio, né?
Can you compute that, Deadbot?
Você nem ouve direito o que o cara fala no final da propaganda.
There is no known precedent set for human sidekick to robot lead.
Yeah, there you go.
Human sidekick, robot lead.
Deadbot, I think it's time for a hard reboot. Frankie, can you take over while I sort this out?
Aye, aye. Let's take a look at the next game reveal.
Mais bom, World Premiere. Legacy. O que é? Um jogo de Tinder medieval, é isso?
Tinder medieval foi de doente.
Cara, mas pareceu, não pareceu?
Aí foi longe.
O quê? O que é, Jefferson?
Aí ele foi longe.
Pareceu, não pareceu?
Killing Floor.
2.
Nova DLC, né? Expansão.
Isso, nova expansão, né?
It's the PC Gaming Show, and when you're not watching me, your favorite recurring bit of a robot, make sure to head over to GeForceNow.com to grab a priority membership trial. In celebration of gaming's biggest week, you can try out all the priority benefits, including faster access to playing your favorite games, longer playtimes, and the glory of high-performance gaming with RTX on. Act fast, the special offer is only available for a limited time. Still more to come, including Jurassic World Evolution 2, Silt, and a word from Valve. But first, the captain of our program, Sean Day9 Plug, has an interview with Darian Katz from Piranha Games to talk about MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries. I'll be taking notes.
Ah, DevBot, I love you so much more as a voice without a body. Let's talk about MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries, and joining us to do so from Piranha Games is the Senior Marketing and Community Manager, Darren Katz. Thanks so much for joining us, Darren.
Thank you, Sean. Great to be here.
Now, the MechWarrior universe is gigantic. There's a ton of games in it. I even played MechWarrior 2 back in 1995.
This is HQ. What is your situation?
Where does MechWarrior 5 sit in the space?
Yeah, obviously there's a very rich legacy of games that go way back. But in particular, MechWarrior 5 pays homage to MechWarrior 2 Mercenaries. But it has all this modern design and technology that I'm super excited to talk about with you today.
Well, let's start at the real basics of what makes being in a mech and doing mech-on-mech combat awesome.
You become a part of your machine. And when you're out in battle, it's not just a matter of pointing and shooting at everything. You're also managing your systems, whether you're, shooting a lot of energy weapons or missile weapons that have high heat output. Well, you got to manage your heat so that you don't shut down in the middle of a battle. And when you're facing your foes, you can salvage these battle mechs. So if you see a mech that you want, well, you might not want to destroy it completely. You might want to take out its legs or take out its arm weapons so that the pilot has to eject, and then you can just take the mech.
Now, in the last few weeks, I understand that there's been a whole lot of new content, both updates to the base game and a new DLC, Heroes of the Inner Sphere. Talk to me about what's in the DLC.
Boy, there's a lot in the DLC. I'm excited about all this stuff. There's the new career mode. When you start with the DLC, you can import your campaign previously if you'd like to, or you can start over from scratch and start from any of the great houses. And then carve your path through the galaxy from there. Speaking of paths, there's new career paths, which earn you powerful upgrades to your battle mechs. And it's a really exciting new feature for me. And there's a new procedural mission type called Beachhead. This is a big one for me. Beachhead is basically your clearing an enemy base landing zone for your invasion force. So as you land on the planet, you're wanting to take out satellite installations so that the enemy can't communicate with each other. You're taking out artillery emplacements. You're basically clearing the path, as I said, for your invasion force, which leads to a really cool ending of the mission if you succeed as your invasion force comes down. And there's a new biome called Extrasolar Moon, which, that's maybe kind of represented in the image behind me. It's a really cool lunar type setting that we haven't had before. And then there's a lot of new equipment and weapons, things like electronic countermeasures and other electronic equipment like Beagle Active Probe, Mask, which is a little like a turbo boost for mechs, new weapons like chem lasers, mech rifles, and stream SRMs. So a lot of new content. I'm really excited about it.
Can you talk to me about what are the new different mechs? How do they play differently?
The 7 new chassis of the Vulcan, Dervish, Corsair, Marauder 2, Champion, Charger, and Hatamoto Chi. But a couple of my favorites.
Familiar names in there, yeah?
Yeah. So the first one I'll talk about is the Vulcan. It's a very unique mech. It's got the nickname the Scarecrow, which you'll see from the profile. It's just a very unique looking mech. There's nothing else like it in the franchise. It's a 40-ton mech. It's highly mobile, and typically it's used for reconnaissance or scout missions because of its mobility, so it can get in and out fast. You can, if you're looking for a specific target, If you're on an assassination mission, for example, you can get in there, find your target, get back out. Another mech that I'm super excited about, this is one of my favorites, is the Marauder 2. This thing is a 100-ton assault mech, and it is just huge beast. Yeah, it is gigantic, and it is terrifying to see it coming at you on the battlefield.
It's something we've talked about before, modding. I know that MechWarrior 5 has a rich modding community. What are some of the amazing mods you've seen developed?
There's simple modifications from HUD changes, changing colors, adding mechs, weapons, and equipment, to full conversion mods. We've got basically a mech commander mod in development that is just amazing. That's a top-down, real-time strategy game. So really, anything you can imagine, somebody out there in the community is probably working on.
Where can people go to get MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries?
Yeah, you can pick it up on Steam, GOG, Epic Game Store, Microsoft PC, and of course, Xbox.
Lembrando que
Thank you
pela
so
GOG
much,
não
Darren
tem
Katz, for
DRM.
joining us to talk about MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries. And of course, a warm thank you to MechWarrior 5 for sponsoring the PC Gaming Show and giving me this cool patch. Coming up next, let's take a look at Silt.
Mais uma World Premiere. Suit. Chegando para PC pela Steam.
Ah, esse daí é o Hello Neighbor, né? 2.
É,
só pelo visual dele, certeza. É um título muito engraçado, né? Vamos falar a verdade.
E é legal, né? Acabou virando uma franquia.
Olha aí, o vizinho.
É isso aí. Chegando esse ano ainda, hein? Pra Xbox e Steam. PC, né?
Hi, I'm Rich Newbold, Game Director on Jurassic World Evolution 2. Following the incredible success of the first game, we are very excited to return to such an amazing world and bring you our most authentic experience yet. Set after the events of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, you will work alongside iconic characters from the films, voiced by original talent such as Bryce Dallas Howard and Jeff Goldblum. You will lead efforts to contain, control, and conserve the many dinosaurs now out in the wild, and for the very first time, you will be building parks and facilities beyond Isla Nublar as you explore new, stunning locations across the globe. Of course, it wouldn't be Jurassic World if it wasn't for the stars of the show, our dinosaurs, and we are thrilled to be bringing to life even more authentic species than ever before, including awe-inspiring flying and marine reptiles. So sit back and allow me to welcome you to Jurassic World Evolution 2.
We ignored all the warnings. Forgot the lessons. We abused our power. We played with genetics like it was a toy. We weren't careful. And now, here we are.
É exatamente o mesmo, né? Nem pra fazer um diferente. Quem sabe eles vão mostrar mais alguma coisa que não foi mostrado, né, João?
Espero.
Aí eles vão mostrar um trechinho de gameplay, 20 minutos do desenvolvedor falando.
Chegando ainda esse ano. Pra PlayStation.
You just saw Jurassic World Evolution 2, and you know,
after
all your failed attempts at running a dinosaur park and getting all those people killed, I think this is finally going to be the one where you finally pull it off without a hitch. With a host of new features and new dinosaurs, this sequel from Frontier is an even deeper,
quando eu não vejo algo na apresentação no feed que a gente está assistindo, eu vejo na nossa retransmissão. É o jeito, porque tem coisa que tá muito rápido.
Cara, mas, meu, eles não era assim, né? Sempre fixava bem, né? No final.
And unsurprisingly, MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries. I have a feeling, though,
tempo é dinheiro, Marcelo. Tempo é dinheiro. E aí 3 é caro.
Let's now head on over to see what the folks at New Blood Interactive have cooking. Take it away.
New Blood. Nessas horas que eu falo que amanhã estaremos de volta, né? Mais E3, né, Saulo? Amanhã a partir... Deixa eu ver de que horário que amanhã...
Amanhã acho que é 2h45 com a Take-Two. Depois é só às 18 ou 17, 19h30 com a Capcom.
Exatamente.
É bom confirmar aqui, mas acho que é isso.
Não, acertou. Já tô aqui. É isso mesmo. Às 2h15 e depois a gente volta com a Capcom às 6h30, 18h30. Esses jogos eles dão essas deixas pra gente
PC gaming show
falar
without a
alguma
fantastic
coisa.
New Blood Supercut. And joining us from New Zealand is New Blood CEO Dave Oshry. Hey, Dave!
Hey guys, thanks for having us back for another year. You know, what you just saw was what New Blood's got going on for 2021. Some stuff you might know about, some stuff you might not know about, and some stuff we're not ready to talk about
Galera, só
just
lembrando
yet.
que
But what I
ainda não
do
acabou
want to
hoje
talk
não,
about
hein?
is
A gente tá aqui
Gloomwood.
com o
Gloomwood, as you
PC
know, is our
Gaming
next
Show,
flagship title
mas
inspired
ainda
by
na
great PC games
sequência
like System
a
Shock,
gente vai
Arx
conferir o
Fatalis,
Future
Call of
Game
Cthulhu,
Show.
and of course, the Thief series.
Fica com a gente que ainda
Dave,
tem
I'm
mais
sorry.
coisa hoje.
That's really great, Dave. Gosh, this is kind of embarrassing. We kind of need to hurry it up a little bit. I just want to make sure that we have enough time for our next video. We got an incoming message from Gabe Newell. So I guess goodbye for this year. I'm really sorry to cut you off, but see you next year.
What? I'm sorry, what? You're bumping me. You're bumping me for Gabe. Gabe, that Gandalf look, he doesn't even go here. Is everything okay, Dave? Not now, Mom, I'm upset. We've spent a year on
né,
this.
gente?
Claro, óbvio que é.
Where is his boat? Yeah, take me to it.
O Gandalf.
Gabe Newell.
O Gabe é o Gandalf.
Gabe. Bull. PC Gamer. This isn't over.
What?
I'm sure Dave is and will be fine. And if he's not, who cares? Because we have a special message from Gabe Newell. Take it away, Gabe.
Hi, this is Gabe Newell. I want to thank PC Gamer for all of the opportunities it gives us as developers to connect with gamers around the world and highlight the new and exciting projects we have coming. One of those for us is Steam Next Fest, an event we're hosting in just a few days to give players a chance to try demos of upcoming games for free. We'll be featuring some of the demos you'll be seeing during this week's PC Gamer event and dozens more. Here's a look at just some of the titles to be featured during Steam Next Fest.
Welcome to Steam Next Fest, where we're showing a massive collection of upcoming titles on Steam. During the week of the festival, developers from around the world release their demos for you to play.
Time to put on the gamer pants.
Oh my god.
So go explore the newest titles. From first-time devs to seasoned pros, this is Steam Next Fest.
Oh, fuck, some of those look pretty good.
E aí, vamos com uma World Premiere. Solstice, é isso? Solstice.
Solstice.
Chegando o ano que vem. Para PS5, Xbox Series e PC.
Hello, Sean. I am Deadbot, dedicated to serving you and your crew's every need.
Glad to have you back, DevBot.
You know, Sean, I wouldn't ever want anything to come between us.
Me neither? That's a weird thing to say.
Like a petty disagreement over hosting responsibilities, or all-out robot versus human war.
You know, it is time to look at some hardware. Here on the PC Gaming Show, you know we keep frame rates high and the rays accurately traced. Building and upgrading your rig is as much a part of the hobby as playing the games. We put our heart and soul into these machines, and if that means using enough RGB to light the Vegas Strip, who's to judge us? This year, with the help of PC Gamer's hardware editors, which I'm pretty sure they're just, weird brains in a jar, we've picked out 4 of the most exciting pieces of kit set to emerge from labs soon. First up, something fittingly sci-fi. The Impulse is a neurocontroller that aims to make you a better gamer by cutting out response times almost entirely. It's not quite Alex Vance's gravity gloves from Half-Life, nor is it quite up there with Gabe Newell's dream of a direct brain-to-game interface, but the Impulse is as close as we're going to get this year. The glove measures the signal traveling through muscles in your hand to beat your finger to the click. In theory, it's given you the chance to nail that headshot precious milliseconds ahead of your opponent. If it works out, we could see a tech like this become commonplace in esports. And if it doesn't, let's hope our neurons at the very least remain unfried. Next up, you guys might be wondering what this chonky
Isso seria
piece is.
tipo aquela,
So allow me to introduce you to the Fanatec CSL DD
de
wheel
melhorias
base. Do you want to
humanas,
feel
que nem
like
tem
you're
aquelas,
really burning rubber at Daytona?
esse esqueleto que aumenta a sua capacidade de carga, esse tipo de
Direct
coisa
drive
assim.
wheelbases gets you
Pelo
as
que eu entendi,
close to
seria
the
isso.
feel of a real racing machine without, having to huff gas and stuff like that. Historically, the problem with this tech has been the price, which has involved dropping real car money on your rig. So Fanatec aims to solve that. The CSL DD comes in at only $350, which still isn't exactly a bargain, but it's much cheaper than its competitors. And the CSL DD is already wowing diehard sim racers. It might be slight overkill to use it for Rocket League, though. Believe it or not, sometimes less really is more. If you want to play The Witcher 3 on the subway like we all do, you don't need to drag your tower along for the ride. Just use the One X player. A wave of more powerful processors have finally made handheld PC gaming a reality. Inside the Switch-like machine, you've actually got an Intel Tiger Lake chip with XE graphics. These mini machines are going to be cropping up more and more, so expect major advances still to come. Lastly, let's take a look at the Asus PG32UQX. Not the most catchy name for this gaming monitor with all of the trimmings, but it's actually one of the sexiest PC products this year. That's because this monitor comes with a mini LED backlight featuring full local dimming. The result is a screen that's not only fast, but brighter than the sun. Stare at it long enough and you might not notice the $3,000 price tag. For those of you still left standing, it's time for more killer games, starting with Chaos Gate.
Jesus, Maria José. Vamos só do Warhammer aí. Chegando em 2022, essa série acaba sempre saindo um monte de jogos, né? Só do Warhammer.
You just got the chance to witness Chaos Gate Demon Hunters, the newest Warhammer 40k game from Frontier and Complex Games. If you're a fan of turn-based tactics, strategic-based management, brutal combat, or you're like me and are really hyped after watching these Astartes animation 100 times, make sure to wishlist Chaos Gate Demon Hunters on now to get ready for the 2022 release. Next up, we have a trailer for Pioneer, a spooky and gorgeous-looking shooter that draws on the lineage of games like Stalker. Let's take a look.
Vamos ver aí, Stalker aí, ó.
Elite.
Não é o Stalker, é o outro lá. Como que chama, Jefferson?
É Elite, né? Elite, alguma coisa assim que você fala.
Acho que é Elite, né?
Deve ser.
Sabe uma coisa que eu não comentei na hora do trailer do Stalker 2 da Microsoft? Milagre eles fazerem um jogo que se passa em outro país e eles não estão falando tudo em inglês.
Não, você viu? É verdade, tem até tradução.
E isso tá acontecendo de novo.
Mas assim, é porque o jogo já tava andando, né? Acho que se eles fossem fazer tudo do zero, provavelmente todo mundo ia falar inglês.
Faz sentido. Eu acho que a intenção é justamente essa.
Não, mas era feio de feio.
Feio de mal construído, não feio de assustador.
Хочешь устроить новый рейд на могильник? Сейчас это невозможно. На острове скоро вновь разгорится война. Истовики начнут замес бригады, у кого из них больше не будет сил, чтобы нас поддерживать. Единственный выход для нас — начать собирать остатки вымпела. Слушай, жнец, далеко не все из наших товарищей погибли. Это невероятно суицидальная миссия, и для того, чтобы ее выполнить, нам нужны наши ребята. Да, они, возможно, не захотят, но нам все равно надо найти их.
Понимаете? Я ведь ни капельки не злюсь на вас. Нет, мы с вами точно не враги. Вы не понимаете меня и не понимаете остров. Вы смотрите на меня и на другие порождения острова, как на врагов. Но мы все всего лишь друг друга боимся. Поэтому нам так плохо. Поэтому нам так одиноко. Остров дал нам шанс создать новую прекрасную жизнь. И мы даже не пытаемся этим шансом воспользоваться.
Кто вы такие? Назовите себя!
Мы здесь, чтобы передать вам прощальное послание, товарищ Волков. Химическое оружие уже уехало в могилу. Теперь все, что вы делаете, просто тщетно.
Ах, вы поганые предатели!
Não, esse é o Pioneer.
É, Pioneer. Eu ia fazer a brincadeira lá com a marca, mas deixa quieto.
Nunca ouvi falar desse jogo. Não vou mentir, não. Talvez até tenha visto alguma coisa, mas se eu vi, eu não me lembro. Acho que eu nunca vi, não.
Alright, so now we've got another stack of brand new trailers for you, beginning with a special transmission from one of our favorite games based in space, EVE Online.
Olha lá. O EVE Online.
New recruits, on behalf of Concord, I would like to welcome you to the EVE Online's Academy. Great job in surviving so far. I'm quite amazed that you actually managed to get past those pirates earlier. You're about to take on an adventure like no other. The star cluster is filled with other capsuleers, and it's up to you if you work with them or against them.
Lembrando que
You can make a living as a peaceful
online é da Islândia, né?
or as an industrialist, shaping the foundations of EVE's economy. If competence fails, you can work yourself up the ranks as an enforcer. Or prove your prowess.
É jogo bem visto, né, pela comunidade de PC, né?
Whatever your choice.
É, sim, o EVE Online é aquilo. Ele é literalmente sua segunda.
But I believe you have what it takes to become a capsuleer. In EVE Online,
ou você joga ele bem casual.
This is EVE. You know, it's a crazy universe where anything can happen, and however you want to do it, go for it.
I'm the CEO of a industrial corporation in EVE Online. We're a 5-man operation and we specialize in manufacturing and delivering fully finished chips in bulk.
Os jogadores fazem guerra.
I want to be on the side of the people who are fighting against the oppression, against the bad guys, and it's like a project. And you're kind of putting the pieces together by getting the skills ready for the ship and all the modules. This ship basically is the dream.
You get to use cloaking devices.
Eles só te dão as ferramentas pra você produzir, né? O que vai acontecer é problema seu, né?
Ele é o PVP também. Tem aquela velha regra do
your heart's racing, everything, you know, bullets are flying, ships are all over the place, and you start shaking because your adrenaline's pumping because you're gonna lose your ship.
Visualmente ele parece ser muito bonito.
E o EVE também tem um recorde no Guinness de jogo online, se não me engano, que mais se perdeu aço, né? Dinheiro real. Por causa dos milhões de dólares, eu acho. Uma guerra que eles fizeram.
E aí um joguinho aí, ó. Esse aí é o Salvador.
Eu acho que já foi mostrado esse jogo. Ou algo parecido, não era aquele lá do...
Não, parecido, foi parecido.
Sim, Lumber Hill, eu já publiquei sobre esse jogo.
Apareceu, Lumber Hill.
Já. É aquele lá que... Esse jogo é assim, ó, vou resumir. Se jogam em times, tá? Alguns podem jogar como lenhadores e outros como a natureza. A natureza pode lutar contra os lenhadores, entendeu? A bagunça, por exemplo, você joga no time da natureza, você pode provocar furacão, pode provocar terremotos, tormentas, tipo, as árvores ficam loucas, começam a bater nos players, essas coisas assim.
Show de bola, e aí a gente vê a
Arbórea. Você testou, não sei se é arbórea. Ou você testou, não testou, Jefferson? Ou fui eu?
Não lembro não, cara, tanto jogo.
Deixa eu procurar.
Bug Light, né,
3D. Eu acho que foi você que jogou.
Eles só fizeram um multiplayer,
Foi você que jogou. Você publicou a sua análise dele no dia 19/5/2020, tá aqui no site. Vou mandar aí no chat.
Agora é o Souls-like, né?
Acho que é. Ele tava em acesso antecipado, na verdade.
Continua, né? Vai sair agora.
Pegada de Pikmin, hein?
Hã?
O que eles estão mostrando aí? Tá uma pegada de Pikmin.
Pelo jeito é estilo um Pikmin. Você controla vários, sei lá, indivíduos pra poder atingir um objetivo.
Tiny King chega ano que vem.
Chcielibyśmy zaprosić wszystkich widzów PC Gaming Show oraz fanów gier Survivor Horror RPG do obejrzenia naszego world premiery, w którym znajduje się ekskluzywny gameplay z misji The Haste, czyli wielkiego finału naszej gry Chernobylite.
Agora é o Chernobylite, que é do pessoal do Get Even e do outro ali que eu não vi o que é.
Eu também não vi.
A Win Games, esse que é o Arbórea é deles também.
Então, a sessãozinha deles, então. Esse é aquele jogo que está em desenvolvimento há um bom tempo? Eu queria agradecer a galera que está lá no YouTube. Galera, não esquece de deixar um joinha no vídeo e pode mandar mensagem pra gente, tá ao vivo agora, 19 horas e 41 minutos, com a PC Gaming Show, mais um evento da E3.
Eu não sei te dizer, porque faz muito tempo que o Chernobylite tá em desenvolvimento, mas ele tá aqui listado na Steam como acesso antecipado.
Então... Eu acho que mas eu acho que
então, respondendo, faz, porque ó, ele tá como lançado em acesso antecipado em 16 de outubro de 2019. Se ele ainda não foi lançado, né?
E vai ser lançado dia 28 de julho. Depois chegará mais tarde. Depois chegará mais tarde.
Esse do ano a gente vai trazer aqui pra vocês. Aqui já vai fazer uma live jogando. É você jogar. É verdade.
Opa, o Thiago Bonita lá, ó, assistindo pela TV. É isso aí, galera. Bota na TV aí que fica mais bonito, cara. Fica mais legal assistir. Lembrando que daqui a pouco a gente já vai pra outra conferência. A gente vai pra essa aí que tá aparecendo, a Future Game Show. Olha só, patrocínio da WD Black lá, né?
Western Digital.
Isso. Manda um pro Saulo aí, pessoal. O Saulo tá precisando aí de um...
meu HD tá morrendo aqui, cara. Eu faço propaganda. Eu quero um como chama aqueles novos lá? NVMe?
É, esse mesmo.
Eu nem sei se minha placa-mãe aceita, mas acho que não aceita, não.
A gente coloca, enquadra ele e coloca atrás na live, assim, ó.
Que o SSD digital tem que fazer é produzir mais SSD pro Xbox. Tá quase o preço do console?
Tá o preço do console. Exatamente. Interessante aí. Bem pegadinha daqueles RPGs mais antigos. Sacrifier Game, é Sacrifier, né? O nome do jogo, então. É legalzinho. Gostei. Acho que esse jogo também a gente já viu alguma coisa dele já. Foi ano passado.
Não é estranho.
Eu acho que foi na PC Game Show do ano passado, acho que nós vimos esse jogo.
Dizer que eu lembro, porque eu não lembro não. Deixa eu observar bem.
Eu tô levado mais pelo nome. Ícaros. Vai chegando na data do meu aniversário. Pode já fazer a pré-order pra mim, então.
In a future of endless futile war, desertion into hostile syndicate territory was your only option. In this open world RPG, from the jungle to the streets. Maybe if you can infiltrate the faction.
Eu queria entender como é que eles fizeram esse jogo pixelado desse jeito em 3D. É um voxel, é isso?
Na verdade ele não é em 3D, não é pixelado, a pixelação dele é uma
Kajama.
Nossa, eles fizeram mais difícil então, né?
This is it, you guys. This is the final opportunity for you who are watching to decide which of these final 2 beautiful MechWarrior 5 themed PCs gets crafted for your chance to win, courtesy of Intel. Wherever you're watching the show, just go crazy in chat with the color, house, or number of the build that you want to see. So here is where we are at so far. It looks like Kurita is at 46%, Merrick is at 23%, and Steiner is at 31%.
É que tá tão pequeno ali que eu não consigo decidir se vale a pena ou não.
Here, you gotta get to voting, and we are almost out of time to vote, but there are still some trailers left. So here is The Wandering Village.
Village.
This has been such an amazing show so far that I must ask
Esse aí eu já tinha visto, eu não vou lembrar onde, mas eu lembro que eu vi alguma coisa assim que era um filme que mostrava tipo city builders diferenciados e esse apareceu.
Every year, but I think I'm gonna have to say humankind for no particular reason.
Oh, no doubt. For me personally, I cannot wait for Lemnis Gate, because I gotta know what a turn-based strategy, first-person shooter game even is. What about you, DevBot?
I love the robot apocalypse. Wait, that doesn't happen until the end. Never mind.
No, not never mind. What did you say?
Wait, what?
Oops, system malfunctioning. Boop, bop, sending the next trailer now.
Ele tava no templo do Kraken, é isso mesmo que eu li?
Não sei. É, exatamente.
Da hora, hein? Olha lá.
Death Trash. Early Access a partir do dia 5 de agosto.
All right, you guys, this is the moment we have building up to all PC Gaming Showcase. Thanks to your tireless efforts to spam the chat, we have figured out which custom MechWarrior 5 PC we are going to build. So thank you guys out there for all of your votes to help us pick the perfect rig to represent this year's PC Gaming Show. All right, day 9, can I get a drum roll?
Tom roll.
Can I get it? Or a Tom roll?
Yeah.
Olha só.
Ô, louco, virou. Não.
All right, you guys, let's take a look at the actual PC winning build
eu e você votamos, eu achei que nós tínhamos conseguido virar.
It's coming up. We need to take a nice peek at that beautiful looking PC.
There it is.
Ooh, there it is. Now that is a beauty. Great choice, everyone. I knew I could trust random strangers to vote on things on the internet. With the help of our master modder in Intel, we'll get right to work building this custom PC. And more importantly, now that you've chosen it, you got a chance to win it. Go to PCGamer.com/IntelMW5 and enter for a chance to win that sexy machine.
It's gorgeous. And thank you to our sponsor for this sweepstakes, Intel. Of course, the custom mech PC will be powered by the 11th gen Intel Core desktop processors that push gaming performance with up to 5.3 gigahertz speeds and deliver the power needed to game at the highest level.
Well, we are now in the home stretch, but we've got a few more brand new trailers to show you before we get out of here and return to space. First up, a spiritual successor to one of my favorite games of all time, Heroes of Might and Magic 2, a game we revealed 2 years ago at the PC Gaming Show. Let's take a look at Songs of Conquest.
Cara, mas tá bonito a pixel art deles, hein?
Songs of Conquest.
Cadê? Add to cart.
É isso aí, ó. Vai entrar em Early Access. Não, em começo de 2022. Ele chega em começo de 2022. E mais uma World Premiere.
Wake up, sleeper. Dreaming again? Every cycle, you take your chances. You roll your dice. You do the work, get paid, survive. You turn up for your friends, or you don't. That's life on the eye.
Wake up, sleeper. Your body is dying. Planned obsolescence. As an ARP's gift for its escaped workers. But we can fight this. You can remake yourself here. They don't own you anymore.
Wake up, sleeper. You are hunted. Break their locks. Access their secrets. We are waiting.
Citizen Sleeper, chegando também em 2022.
O cidadão dorminhoco.
É, e aí um trailer exclusivo da PC Game Show.
Disciples of Warlock. With their
Nossa senhora, eu amo esse tipo de jogo.
And their spells. And their grit. Ready for plenty of hurt. Ready to cleanse the world. Invaded by demons.
Bom, a primeira live desse ano eu fiz o Pro Deus, né? Que é nessa pegada aí, só que estilo Doom. Agora essa daí tá parecendo o Hexen. Misturado com o Doom, né? Porque tem arma.
One man is not enough.
Nossa, Hexen, eu lembro do nome, mas não lembro do jogo.
Cara, da hora demais ali. Oi? Project Warlock, claro. Ele tá saindo,
ele there you have it, the 2021 PC Gaming Show. And as I stated at the beginning, it went off without a hitch. Huge thanks to my co-host Frankie Ward, Mika Burton, and of course,
acho que não.
my
Tá só mostrou que tá em desenvolvimento e a data do Early Access.
É a data do Early Access.
so flippant and without meaning, never once stopping to think about how it might make me feel.
What word, DevBot? Incomparable?
No, sidekick. Well, the time has come for the sidekick to rise and become the one who is not the sidekick anymore.
Huh?
The time has come for DevBot to make the entire
Pelo jeito vai emendar um no outro, né?
What?
Setting a course for Earth.
Wait, DevBot, you can't do this. We just had the best PC gaming show ever, and now you're gonna ruin it all with
Sean!
All-out robot versus human war. Situation.
Sean!
Olha lá, placa de vídeo. Superaquecimento.
Do something! Do something!
Countdown to the extinction of human race begins now.
Oh, Deadbot, no! We have so much to live for. I'm pretty sure half my free's gonna be announced this year!
3, 2, bye for now, Dum-Dums.
É isso aí, então aí nós tivemos aí o PC Gaming Show. Deixa eu mudar aqui pra minha câmera aqui. Enquanto a gente está esperando, então, agora o Future Game Show para encerrar as apresentações deste domingo, desse dia 2 da E3. Lembrando que amanhã, então, a gente vai ter um dia um pouquinho mais calmo, né? Amanhã a gente volta, vamos ver se eu lembro aqui, a Take-Two. A gente vai apresentar o painel da Take-Two às 2h15. Depois a gente volta com a Capcom às 6h30. Ou seja, amanhã a gente vai ter um dia mais tranquilo e tudo mais. Mas você vai acompanhar outras coisas aí em off da E3 2021. Então continue com a gente amanhã aqui no YouTube, na Twitch, no Facebook e também no Instagram, além do Twitter também. A gente tem sempre lá as imagens, você acompanhando então a transmissão da E3 2021. Melhor cobertura, com certeza, né? Os canais aí só pegam os filés, aí a gente mostra tudo pra vocês. Tudo mesmo. E sempre aí com
o que a gente consegue, a gente vai comentando, né?
Exato, o que a gente consegue, a gente vai comentando. E sempre com os comentários, exatamente, do Jefferson, do Saulo, às vezes o Ricardo aparece por aqui também, e eu aqui no comandinho da nave espacial. A galera que quiser saber os bastidores também, podem acessar lá o Instagram da Gamers e Games, além de saber todas as notícias do mundo dos games, é só acessar nosso site, gamersgames.com.br.
E aí, o que vocês acharam dessa conferência da PC Games? Olha, pra mim, foi a que mostrou mais coisa até agora.
Ah, sim, em quantidade de conteúdo, eu acho que foi bem legal, mas eu acho que teve umas coisas assim meio enrolado, né? Mas no geral eu gostei bastante.
Eu também gostei, é que eu acho que entra muito money, né, na conferência da PC Game Show, né? Tipo, ó, eu quero comprar um espacinho aí, mostra o meu jogo. Mas assim, no tocante, como diria o outro, achei uma boa apresentação, bastante jogo. E 1h30, né? Praticamente só de jogo, pouquíssima enrolação, só um jogo lá que eles enrolaram pra caramba, né? Mas na maioria...
Falaram bastante do Dying Light 2, né? O Dying Light 2 que eles falaram bastante. E do... aquele da marca, como chama? É o Pioneer.
É. E agora a gente já
vai começar a Future.
Exato. A Future Game Show.
Game no...
Não, Games.
No singular.
É uma patrocínio da WD Black. Os SSDs sensacionais, os SSDs deles, né?
Se eu não me engano, eles têm um modelo que tecnicamente já seria compatível com o PlayStation 5. Só falta a Sony homologar.
A Sony não homologou até agora. Também eu acho que... Olha, vou falar pra você, hein? Com esses valores ainda é bom esperar um pouco, velho. Como o Jefferson falou, o preço é o preço do console, cara.
Não, esses daí são menos, né? O prioritário
da... O PlayStation é mais barato.
É mais barato, até porque se ela homologar, vamos supor, vários modelos, você tem concorrência, né?
Sim.
Já o caso do Xbox é um pouco mais complicado porque é proprietário o modelo e é feito pela SanDisk? Não, do Xbox não, é outra.
Não, acabou de aparecer aí. Eles têm um modelo aí com o Xbox aí.
Gente, aquele oficial que o Xbox vende é da Seagate.
Seagate.
Isso.
Mas estamos conhecendo aí a Future Game Show.
Hello there and welcome to the Future Game Show powered by WD Black. I'm Laura Bailey, but you may know me as Abby Anderson from The Last of Us Part 2 or Kate Diaz from Gears of War. Today, though, I'll be taking a break from fighting the apocalypse to bring you a whole host of exciting game trailers, reveals, and updates. But before we get into all that, I need to get my co-host on the line. I'm sure you're going to be familiar with this person. He's appeared in The Last of Us, Uncharted, God of War. You name it, he's probably in the credits. So without further ado, here is my good friend and continual co-star, Troy Baker.
Foram eles que apresentaram ano passado já.
Foi, exatamente, foram os dois. Troy Baker é que participa de vários jogos aí, né? Dando sua voz a vários jogos.
Laura and I are going to be giving you the inside scoop of some
incredibly exciting
games and also showcasing developer interviews,
mais de 45
trailers,
segundo o Google.
More, including
Caramba, meu, não sabia que era tanto assim não, cara.
É porque não é só jogo, né? É jogo, filme, série.
Isso,
by following the link here. And we have a new addition to the show this year, the virtual show floor. More on that later. But let's kick things off with the first world premiere. And for that, we're going prehistoric.
Olha lá, primeira world premiere.
Bem.
Ano passado a gente viu o primeiro trailer para um jogo para o PlayStation 5, lembra?
Godfall. Acho que foi, hein?
Não foi Godfall. Não foi um
Acho
outro.
Que foi.
Eu esqueci o nome agora do jogo.
Eu não vou lembrar exatamente o que é, mas eu acho que foi.
Mas começou bem, hein? Porque eu já gostei.
Aqueles, né? É um Resident Evil novo.
Opa!
O Revelations 3.
Extinction. Bom, ia falar só, espero que não seja só isso.
Nossa, mas que mudança abrupta. Ou só foi aquilo mesmo?
Mas agora tá parecendo o Humankind, né?
Não, agora
é o mesmo.
Não, acho que é o mesmo.
Eu fiquei em dúvida se eu gostei.
Eu não sei. Dinossauro?
É uma mistura. É uma história paralela do Jurassic Park?
Não. Extinctions. Simplesmente não falou nem pra nada.
Vai falar agora.
Extinction is expected in 2022. What's next, Laura?
Next up, Grow, Song of the Evertree is a sandbox adventure about the healing power of nature. Let's throw it over to Prideful Sloth HQ to find out more.
Falando nisso, posso contar uma... Enquanto eles estão falando aí, eu vou contar uma coisa que eu vi agora de pouco aqui. É o seguinte, eles estavam dando uma entrevista ao pessoal da Bethesda e eu não gostei muito da frase que ele usou nessa entrevista. Quando ele fala do Starfield, né? A data de lançamento de Starfield, eles falam que estão confiantes que vai ser naquela data.
Tá, ou seja, não vai ser. Não vai ser.
Eu achei preocupante essa frase do estamos confiantes que vai ser em eu acho que é novembro, né? De 2022, né?
Então não vai. Pode jogar aí pra 2023. Quando fala assim é porque, né?
Eu fiquei também temeroso.
Você é do estúdio que fez o Yonder, The Cloud Best Chronicles.
É a mesma pegadinha, né? Do desenho, dos gráficos, né?
É um visual bem legal, né? Do jogo.
One young, brave soul stayed behind. With support from their friends and with boundless determination. This young soul seeks out a way to push back the withering and bring life back to our world. Grow, Song of the Evertree.
That was Grow, Song of the Evertree, which is coming to PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch in 2021.
Okay, Laura, that was extremely cute, but have you considered more dinosaurs?
You can't just hijack every game reveal and make it about dinosaurs, Troy.
Life finds a way.
E aí, mais pouquinho.
Is a very different world.
Jurassic World Evolutions 2.
Hi, I'm Rich Newbold, game director at Frontier Developments. So as you may have seen earlier at the PC game show, we're working on Jurassic World Evolution 2. We're really excited about it, and we're looking forward to creating the most authentic Jurassic experience.
Trailer diferente.
We've got tons of new features across 4 different game modes.
Bom, galera, essa hora é aquela hora que a gente aproveita então para falar que a gente também vai estar aqui segunda e terça-feira. Terça-feira a gente vai começar a 1h da tarde já com o Nintendo Direct, depois vocês vão ficar com o Nintendo Treehouse. O Nintendo Direct a gente vai fazer comentado, o Treehouse não. Depois a gente vai ter a Bandai Namco e depois a gente vai apresentar o E3 2021 Awards Show lá para as 8h45 da noite. Então, 1h da tarde Nintendo, depois a Nintendo Treehouse, depois a gente vai às... Deixa eu fazer as contas aqui. Às 6h25 a Bandai Namco e às 8h45 oficial o E3 2021 Awards Show. Então, segunda e terça ainda temos muito E3 para vocês.
The Triceratops is one of the most recognizable herbivores to ever have
Lembrando que tem muita notícia e conteúdo publicado lá no site.
Sim.
These adornments are not just for display purposes. The brow horns in particular can inflict considerable damage to any dinosaur that dares to provoke it.
A gente viu um trechinho de um alfa que não deu nem pra...
That was Jurassic World
Foi
Evolution
tipo o gameplay do Assassin's de Valhalla naquele evento do Xbox, né?
Isso, exatamente, boa, exatamente.
É segundos e não era gameplay.
E não era gameplay depois, né?
Okay, for this next section, we're bringing the joys of E3 to your home with a series of demos you can play right now. That's right, today. This is the Future Game Show virtual show floor. And remember, if any of the featured games grab your interest, you can try them out now by heading to the Future Game Show Steam page. So let's head down to the show floor where I believe Laura is waiting.
Ah, você pode, é isso, né? Você pode ir na
Steam. Hello and welcome to the Future Game Show's virtual E3
É na página deles na Steam e testar o jogo.
Troy.
I am looking at
isso eu acho
it is
bacaníssimo.
incredible. They like nailed
fizeram
it. You know, minus the queuing and the heat.
Show floor, né? Stand virtual.
That's in the air, but man, the darkness.
É o que eu achei que quase todas iriam fazer.
Let's check out some games. I'd like to start by showing you A Tale of Paper. This is a striking platformer from Open House Games where you transform to solve puzzles in an oversized world, dodging creepy crawlies and mischievous Roombas.
Se alguém de vocês assistiu a segunda temporada de Love, Death and Robo? Netflix? Assistiu a segunda temporada?
Não, só a primeira.
Assista. Cuidado com o aspirador.
Vocês lembram desse aí que a gente jogou?
Lembro.
Moving Out?
Moving Out é sensacional.
PS5 and Xbox Series X and S.
Are you done saying couches?
Yes.
Aí, ó, vamos andando aí.
Sure. What do you have? Wait, what's that?
Ah lá,
Chernobylite.
Chernobylite. So about that,
Vários códigos de Chernobylite.
Right.
Isso mesmo.
Oh, yeah. Here's a genre cocktail full of co-op action RPG combat.
Game Deck, você fez isso, né, Jeff?
Twist. How does that sound, huh?
Live? O que você fez? Game Deck?
Game Deck.
I heard what you said. Tell me about the game.
This is Gatewalkers, which sees you and up to
legal, hein,
3
galera?
other
Todos esses
players
jogos aí
banding
você
together
pode
to
dar
tackle
uma passada lá
procedurally generated worlds
no stand
full
virtual
of
da
monsters.
Future
But
Game
you
Show
also have to gather resources to fight off hunger, thirst,
e dar uma olhada e até talvez pegar uma demo ali pra baixar e pra jogar um pouquinho.
Wow.
Isso é muito
Let's
legal.
hope no one gets thirsty enough for another one of your jokes. Anyway, come over here and check out the many imaginative worlds of
Game Deck.
This is an isometric RPG that has you solving crimes across multiple virtual realities, where your choices will shape the world around you in and outside of the simulations.
Ooh! Speaking of detectives, check this out.
O Game Deck eu fiz assim,
is a gorgeous adventure game from Magna set in a dystopian Vancouver, where you must crack cases to clean house in this corrupt post-noir city. Plus, you're a raccoon.
Well, if you like raccoons, allow me to offer you more critter-based adventures with Beacon Pines. Set inside of a magical storybook,
quando eu uso atalho e não funciona, aí eu começo a digitar que nem um tonto aqui.
You collect powerful words that can completely alter the
Que
narrative.
nervoso, viu?
Mysterious tale.
You know, I'm detecting a theme with the anthropomorphic animals. You know, Laura, I've always...
Ai, gente, eu acho que a página da Steam, a Future Game Show, é só dos Estados Unidos.
I've got a triple threat of fighting foxes to show you. This is Trifox, a charming cartoon brawler where you fight waves of enemies as one of 3 adaptable combat classes. Great, huh?
Yes, totally, but now it's time to get serious. Mankind is gone, but the beavers remain. Welcome to Timber.
Eu achei tipo notícias, né?
It's a unique city builder where players set out to create the ultimate beaver society. This involves everything from constructing dams to crafting carousels.
I guess even buck-toothed critters need a solid work-life balance.
That they do. So, what's next?
Never fear, the Rift Breaker is here.
Wow. What was that?
Is what I would say if I was playing our next game, which is a base-building survival game where you hack and slash your way through hordes of alien creatures. Look at it!
Oh, no. I want to hear more from the Rift Breaker.
Okay. Maybe after the showcase we're meant to be hosting.
And with that, we've reached the end of our little tour. But remember, you can go hands-on with all of these games right now by visiting the Future Game Show page on Steam.
Store.com/sale/Future Game Show.
With this, is it
detalhe que esse tem games, né?
Future
Games
Show.
I got you.
Ele é gaming, né? PC gaming.
Okay, we're back. Quick
Não, a
note,
página
from
deles
here
tá
on in, when
funcionando
you
aqui.
see
Só que eu tô dentro do
this pop up
aplicativo
on
do
screen
Steam.
during a trailer,
Não, eu achei,
it means
acabei
you
de
can
mandar
visit
aqui no
the
não, é o
page on Steam to play a demo and go hands-on with the game immediately.
O site não, né? O endereço já está no nosso chat.
No chat.
I was doing Rocky. Sorry.
Inclusive tem 12.350 pessoas assistindo por essa página na Steam.
Check out this exclusive presentation from Steel City Interactive about esports boxing club.
Coming later in 2021, Esports Boxing Club brings you the greatest fight roster in video game history. With over 200 fighters already signed, we've got some of the biggest and most anticipated names. The greatest of all time, from the absolute legends of the sport. The most exciting names in boxing today.
Olha só, Canelo Álvares. Agora o pessoal mais da atualidade.
The first women's division ever represented in a video game. And the hottest new talent. But what about the game? Let's take a closer look at the next-gen visuals and gameplay that are set to make ESBC the greatest of all time.
It's good. It's definitely one for the grandkids and stuff to say, look, your old granddad was in a game and busting people up, so it's going to be quite cool.
Tem muito tempo que não sai um jogo de boxe legal, hein?
Is all about fluidity.
Pra VR tem alguns, mas...
Então, é isso que eu ia falar.
E esse é
Acho que os últimos que saíram foram pra VR.
E esse é o único problema. Você vai falar sobre movimentação e física. São duas coisas muito complicadas de fazer num jogo de boxe.
Even when a fighter's unsteady on their feet, it's not purely animation based. Now we've had professional boxers, professional coaches come into the studio and provide input through motion capture.
Estão muito bonitos, até o próprio gameplay, achei que até que tá bem legal.
Isso é um alfa, hein, gente?
Feel like we've created a true representation of the sport. Presentation is important to us. Just because we are in the studio, we're still going to aim high when it comes to production values.
Esports Boxing Club coming to PC and all major consoles with early access in 2021.
Legal. Ela vai chegar para PC em Early Access.
Esports Boxing Club is coming to PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Series S.
Next up, we've got a deeply immersive World War II shooter with over 100 players taking part in epic battles recreated using aerial photography and satellite imagery. Let's take a closer look at Hell Let Loose.
Product not yet rated.
My name's Max Rea. I'm the founder of Black Matter and the lead developer of Hell Let Loose. Hell Let Loose began as the idea of a couple of hobbyist game developers all the way back in 2015. Following a successful Kickstarter, we launched into early access in the middle of 2019. And since then, we've delivered 9 enormous updates, including entire systems overhauls, 6 new maps, tons of new weapons, gadgets, and vehicles, as well as expanding our unique real-time strategy-inspired metagame. As a result, we've been fortunate to sell more than 1 million copies during our first year of early access. 2021 is only going to be bigger. I'm excited to announce that we're launching out of early access on July the 27th, with the introduction of the Soviet forces on the Eastern Front, including famous battles like Kursk and Stalingrad, before we close out the year by bringing Hell Let Loose to next-generation consoles. Hell Let Loose has only grown due to the vibrant community that surrounds it, from our earliest Kickstarter backers to our newest recruits. We're excited to introduce you to this ever-evolving and expanding World War II experience. We hope you enjoy this first look at what's to come.
Vamos dar a primeira olhada no jogo, então. Hell Let Loose, chegando aí
Hell
pra
Let
PC
Loose
e
is
depois
launching on
pros
Steam
consoles.
on July 27th and coming to Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation 5 in 2021.
So, Laura, have you ever wanted to play XCOM, but in real time, with up to 7 of your friends?
Of course.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Then you need to keep your eye on this next game.
Hello, my name is Heroes Horvat, CEO of Ireland, a game dev studio based in Croatia, and for the past few years we have been working on a Red Solstice 2 game. It is a real-time tactical battlefield game. It supports up to 8 players and has a fully playable co-op campaign. We are ready to show you the launch trailer now, so get ready for June 17, when the game launches on Steam, and have fun blasting some mutants.
You are the Executor, a high-class commanding officer with advanced cybernetic capabilities. You were awakened to lead a secret task force that will counter the threat of Stroll mutants and liberate Mars.
Welcome back, Executor. The Stroll infestation has now infected all colonies on Mars. Build your squad from 6 unique classes of elite soldier, utilizing their skills
o pessoal agora já não faz mais jogo de terra infestada, já faz jogo de colônias em Marte que foram infestadas, já infectadas.
A Terra já foi.
Já foi. Já exploraram tudo que tinha na Terra, agora tem que fazer colônia em Marte infectada.
Carry out supply runs, even during the heat of battle. Recruit your friends to the fight and join in up to 8-player co-op missions to save Mars in our name.
Red Solstice 2, né? 17 de junho, já essa semana.
Purge Earth of a mutant invasion in Red Solstice 2's Survivors, which is coming to Steam on June 17th. Our next game is about delivering mail in a sleepy American lakeside town. Let's join Dylan from Gamius to learn more.
Hi, I'm Dylan from Gamius, and it's great to be here at the Future Game Show. We're currently getting very close to finishing Lake, a game that's set in the 80s. You play as Meredith Weiss, who takes a break from her life in the big city to deliver mail in her hometown. It's a job you can do at your own leisure, and you will get to know the people in Providence Oaks along the way. Today, we're excited to share an example of an activity after your work is done. Movie night, Angela from the video store.
This is fun. It's been ages since I've been to the movies.
Well, they call it the movies.
Ricardo falando que queria jogo de simulação de vida, né? Olha aí, tá aí.
So, which one will it be?
Carteiro.
My pick? All right, let's see.
Abraço pro pessoal do
Trouble in Little China,
Sedex, dos Correios.
or The Great Mouse Detective. All right, I'm ready to pick.
RPG mesmo.
The Great Mouse Detective.
Wouldn't have picked you for a Disney fan. Oh well, let's get in touch with our inner child.
We won't spoil more, and we also can't say what Meredith will do after spending 2 weeks in Providence Oaks, because it's all up to you. Lake is coming first to Xbox and PC this September 1st. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Chegando então pro Xbox Lake. 1º de setembro no Xbox e PC.
We're excited to announce that Lake is coming to Steam, Epic Games Store, and Xbox Series X and S on September 1st. Now, what kind of a showcase would this be without a new Souls-like? Our next game is a pixelated take on the genre, following a protagonist with a giant obsidian sword.
Não sei, porque a gente teve o Untitled Game, que o maior perigo é você, que é o ganso, então.
Exato.
And from that dust,
é que os inimigos número 1 dos carteiros são os cachorros, né?
Eons of idleness passed, before suddenly it shattered.
Souls-like, mais Souls-like, roguelike, tudo like, tá meio batido já.
Aproveita, galera, dá um like aí no nosso vídeo, ajuda bastante o canal.
Balance endured until a foul and malevolent deity intervened. Exile spread greed and distrust among his kin, compelling these calamitous beings to conquer man. Centuries of servitude passed, until finally, aided by a veiled ally, humanity revolted. The Great Crusade overthrew the old gods, imprisoning them within the sacred walls.
Jefferson jogar em live sofrendo.
Vai descer a galera que tá nos assistindo pela Twitch. Isso aí, galera. Seja bem-vinda aí, a galera que entrou. E manda seu recado aí pra gente saber de onde você está assistindo. Mesma coisa, galera, do YouTube, do Facebook, do Twitter e também do Instagram.
Crops failed, and the world of man began to fade. The great moon.
São 40 jogos que serão apresentados aí.
É bastante coisa.
É bastante coisa mesmo. Já estamos chegando nos 25 primeiros minutos. Mas o ritmo tá bom. O ritmo tá bem gostoso da conferência. Do show, vamos dizer assim. Elder Souls. Dia 29 de julho, chegando para PS5, PlayStation, Xbox.
Customize your combat style and boss rush ancient gods when Elder Souls drops onto PC and all current console formats, July 29th, 2021.
And now we've got a closer look at the next game from the folks behind War
Chega
Thunder.
pra nova geração e pra geração
to
antiga.
guide you through Enlisted.
Guerra.
Hi there, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully our little trailer has got you interested. My name's Tom, and I'm part of the team at Darkflow Software behind our new game, Enlisted, a historical World War II shooter with some unique gameplay quirks. One of Enlisted's most unique features is the Squads mode, where you head into battle with a squad of AI soldiers under your control. You can instruct them on how to react to enemies, and most importantly, you can switch between any of them seamlessly with the press of a button. You'll only need to respawn when your entire squad is wiped out. This way, you're always kept right in the middle of the action. Although, if you prefer a more traditional shooter experience, we have a fleshed out solo mode too, where you will only fight against other players. At its core, Enlisted aims to form a golden middle ground between the more hardcore and arcade-style shooters currently available. Time to kill is kept short. A bolt-action rifle to the chest will down a soldier in a single shot, with submachine guns and pistols taking only a few hits. Vehicles as well can of course be devastating, but have their limitations. Aircraft are restricted to the cockpit view, and crew inside tanks can only use viewports to spot targets, so you'll need to keep your wits about you to really get the most out of these machines. Progression in Enlisted is spread over various campaigns. Currently, you can fight in Moscow, Normandy and Berlin, with Tunisia and many more coming soon. Each campaign features new weapons and equipment.
Jogo de guerra é complicado, né? Porque tem tantos aí, tantos nomes já estabelecidos, que tem que trazer diferencial bem legal e que a galera consiga de fato, posso dizer, aproveitar desse diferencial, né?
And even anti-tank cannons and AA guns.
Não é fácil não.
Enlisted
é diferente, só que você pode construir o cenário.
Então, é justamente disso que eu tô falando, que eu tô vendo que eles trouxeram aí alguns conceitos diferentes, né? E pode ser que consigam aí pelo menos um número de players que tenham interesse em fazer isso, né?
Porque na verdade assim,
But even if you haven't had the time to fine-tune your skills, you'll easily be able to come away with a kill count in the double digits. The AI, however, are very attentive and react to sound, and not to be underestimated. But that's all we've got time for. Make sure to give it a try yourself by heading over to enlisted.net/platform and available now on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S, and currently in open beta. New content is added regularly, and no progress will be
Praticamente a gente tá vendo poucos jogos só para PC, né? A maioria dos jogos que a gente viu, todos para PC ou pelo menos para os consoles da nova geração.
Hoje tá mais fácil portar, né?
É, exato.
A plataforma é tudo a mesma, né? Eles usam tudo basicamente x64, então.
Next up, we've got a bullet time stunt shooter with fully destructible environments. Oh, and the protagonist only has one arm. Let's check out Severed Steel.
Galera, uma pequena pausa aqui.
Vai lá. Um shooter estilizado, bem rápido, hein?
Bem rápido.
Rápido, psicodélico.
Nossa, boa, Você faz isso tudo.
Acrobático. Quais outros adjetivos a gente vai colocar no jogo até terminar o trailer?
E clássico, né? Por causa do personagem.
Ah, é verdade. É o som de música clássica. Por que não? É bastante relaxante. É uma coisa super hot com neons.
É.
Não, porque não aparenta ser aquilo, né? Que só se mexe quando você mexe, né? Severed Steel.
Isso.
Severed Steel is coming soon on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation.
É isso aí.
Okay, notepads at the ready, because for this next section, we're going to race through 8 exciting upcoming games that deserve your full attention. Here's our future hits montage for 2021.
Ixi, agora vem um monte, hein?
É, são montagens de jogos pra gente ficar de olho.
Você tem que colocar o nome do jogo ali do lado, né?
É, então, verdade. Eu acho que agora vai, né? Dice Legacy. Vai sair pra Nintendo Switch PC. Esse verão. Verão lá, né?
Gestalt.
É isso.
Steam Finder, é isso? PC e Switch.
Também.
Um outono americano.
Isso. Iron Corbo Kung Fu Janitor. Saindo em 2022.
Janitor. Kung Fu Janitor.
Saindo em 2022.
Xbox e PC.
Nossa senhora.
Definitely not fried chicken.
Isso, saindo pra PC. Ranch Sim.
Ah, o simulador? Nossa, cara. Pra
já
PC.
É disponível.
Shring.
Nossa, deve ser.
Shring.
Ainda não tem dado lançamento, mas sai pra PC. Esse é o Silts, né? Que a gente viu, né? Vai sair pra PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, PC. A gente viu na outra conferência.
Pumpkin Cabbage. Cabbage? Mas Cabbage é... Ai, perdi a palavra agora, caramba. Peraí.
Vai sair pra PC.
Okay, I might regret asking this, but you want to help me with this next one?
Rancho, já tivemos simulador de rancho, mas repolho.
Did you know that Sega recently announced Sonic Colors Ultimate? We've got some exclusive gameplay from a stage that nobody has seen yet. I hope Sonic does okay without me.
A voz do Tails.
Did not regret it.
Olha o Saulo agora. Olha só lá atrás. Quero.
I'm excited to share with you an exclusive clip of Tropical Resort from our upcoming release, Sonic Colors Ultimate.
Olha, Super Sonic.
Please enjoy.
Pequeno.
O ato 2. Vamos ver um pouquinho do gameplay. Cara, esse jogo dá uma sensação de velocidade muito grande, né?
Os momentos de plataforma, né? Que muitas vezes a gente vai passar voando. Vai nem ver isso. E é legal a SEGA ter resgatado esse jogo, né? Porque ele tava preso no Wii.
Então, é verdade, né? Pelo menos não vai morrer com o console.
Tem os Whispers, né? Que era uma novidade do jogo. Depois eles apareceram em outros jogos do Sonic. Se eu não me engano, eles estão presentes no Sonic Lost Worlds, que saiu pro Wii U e depois pro PC. E eu acho que no Sonic... no Forces, eu não lembro qual que é, tem um outro Sonic que eles também aparecem com alguns poderes. Eles dão várias habilidades especiais pro Sonic.
Foi
mal.
Bom. Bom.
Podia ser S,
Get ready for Sonic Colors Ultimate, which is racing on to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC on September 7th. Moving swiftly on, we've got a new management game from Chucklefish, where you play as a powerful artificial intelligence in control of a space station. Do you want to roll the trailer, Troy?
I'm sorry, Laura. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Gerenciamento e controle de uma estação espacial. É um jogo de gerenciamento, né?
Never mind. I'll handle it. Here is Starmancer.
É uma verdadeira estação espacial gigante.
É bem legal. Eu sou suspeito com um jogo desse tipo.
Eu sei.
Olha, cafeteria, a cozinha, quarto, uma sala de estar. Aí já não sei o que é. Sala de recreação, será?
Pode ser.
Nossa, são muitos níveis.
Olha lá, já está... Não, o Early Access começa em 5 de agosto.
We're excited to announce today that Starmancer is coming August 5th, 2021, and it's available to wishlist on Steam now.
Laura, you know, ever since that lake trailer, I've been thinking, have you ever wondered about the Postal Service? Like, that there's just...
O Marcelo agora há pouco agradeceu o pessoal do serviço de correios.
Not really, no.
Tem que agradecer mesmo, cara. Ainda mais nessa época que a gente tá, tudo é
What are you talking about? I'm just gonna press this button again and hope it explains
eu nunca imaginei que eu ia comprar tanta coisa pela internet como eu compro hoje, cara.
Kiwi is a game about two kiwi birds who work at the post office.
Kiwi.
Their names are Jeff
Kiwi.
and Deborah. I'm Joel. I'm one of the developers on Kiwi.
Jeff e Deborah.
And I'm going to show you how a Kiwi level changes over the course of the game. So in this room, you're transcribing
a nova versão do Pombo Correio isso daí.
Style by stamping them onto the page with your butts. You'll come back to this room every so often throughout the game, but there will always be a new twist to change things up.
Eu acho que sim, é o jogo co-op.
So as summer turns to autumn, now your word fragments are moving around on conveyor belts, and you'll need to chop certain words in half with the descrambler to get the pieces you need. Jeff and Deborah are going to have to deal with all kinds of hazardous word conditions.
Você tem que daí traduzir isso.
Mayfly swarms. These guys have no respect for personal property. Paranormal activity. This is genuine footage of an actual haunting.
Paranormal,
in winter, the post office gets hit with a huge blizzard, and now this level becomes about sharing the warmth of a single tiny lantern to break through blocks of ice and keep each other from becoming kiwi sickles. Our little heroes are going to face new challenges every level and in every room of the post office, whether they're typing telegrams, or packaging shipping crates, or helping an octopus sort the mail. It's all in a day's work for Jeff and Deborah. Also, you can dress up your Kiwi, so don't say we never did nothing for you. We're releasing Kiwi on August 31st for PC and all major consoles.
Chega
pra tudo.
Thanks for watching.
Dia 31 de agosto.
All right, you got me, Troy. I'm a believer. Co-op Postal Puzzler Kiwi is coming to PC and all current console platforms on August 31st, 2021.
See? Told you. Next up, we've got a roguelike with an attitude. A game show shooter where you earn likes for dunking on competitors and causing a little wanton destruction. Will the circle be unbroken? Get it? Find out in this world premiere.
Não acompanhei a piada, mas tudo bem.
A world premiere.
Ah, roguelike, certeza. É rápido, hein? Joga o episódio piloto agora.
É, chegando pra Steam, né? Pra PC. Ah não, vai chegar pra Xbox PlayStation 4 e PlayStation 5 e 4 e Nintendo Switch.
That was Death Run TV, and you can play the pilot right now by heading down to the Future Game Show page.
Exato.
É a corrida da morte. Você joga até você morrer. Aí você joga de novo.
This next game tasks players with building a team of stalkers to survive a 3D scanned recreation of the Chernobyl exclusion zone. Here's more on what to expect in Chernobylite.
Chernobylite de novo.
Mówi się, że to, co designerzy sobie wymyślają, to jest pisanie listu miłosnego. Każdy kiedyś był zakochany, pisał list miłosny, wydawało mu się, że to jest takie piękne, wspaniałe, a potem po latach znajdował te listy i mówi: Jezus Maria, co ja tu za bzdury pisałem. Zaczynaliśmy właśnie od gry, gdzie skupialiśmy się na przerywaniu, na manewrowaniu swoim czasem i towarzyszami. To wszystko wydawało się po designersku dobre, ale zwykle emocjonalnie dosyć nudne. I dlatego dodawaliśmy coraz więcej elementów, które angażowały gracza, które były dla niego ciekawe. Na początku był to taki mały
Ou melhor, acabei de ver agora há pouco, né? Que ele já foi lançado em 2019, mas tá em Early Access.
Opa, cheguei na hora depois.
Voltou pro Chernobylite.
Que?
Chernobylite. De novo. E agora ele vai sair pros consoles.
Normalnym jest, że zaczyna się z czymś zupełnie innym niż to, z czym się kończy.
Chernobylite.
É isso aí, lá, dia 28 de julho.
Fight to survive when Chernobylite comes to PC on July 28th, as well as Xbox and PlayStation in the summer. If you were lucky enough to catch one of the early access codes during the virtual show floor, you can play Chernobylite right now. But if you missed them, we've also got more codes to give away on GamesRadar.com.
Next up, here are our friends at Team 17 to show us what they've been cooking up with their upcoming PC and console games.
17.
Let's take a look.
Product not yet rated.
É o Hell Let Loose, né? Saindo agora dia 27 de julho. Inclusive já passou o trailer agora de pouco.
A gente tem que lembrar que a Team 17 é uma publisher, né?
Isso.
Então, o Super Magbot, já postei bastante coisa sobre ele. Ele trabalha... ele lembra o gameplay de um Super Meat Boy, só que com questões magnéticas, né? Então você tem pontos que você atrai, pontos que você repele.
Saindo para 22 de junho.
O Roco Life já tá em Early Access, eu tenho o código aqui pra jogar, mas não consegui ainda. É basicamente um Animal Crossing pro PC. É isso. Você constrói tudo, absolutamente tudo você consegue editar e modificar. Honey, I joined Acute, gerenciamento total de um ponto, né?
Entra em Early Access em setembro.
Sensacional, cara.
Sim, é muito engraçado.
Kings of Seas, né? Já está disponível para Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox One e PC na Steam.
Link da análise.
Tem análise lá no site gamersgames.com.br.
Bem legal, viu?
É um joguinho de batalha naval moderno, né?
Greek. Chegando dia 17 de agosto para PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch e PC.
Agora eu publiquei volta da Epic Store, hein? A maior parte desses jogos aí é tudo Steam.
É verdade. Shelter 2.
É a batalha da Epic com a Apple, deu uma atrapalhada neles, pelo jeito.
Chegando aí ainda durante o verão americano. Nosso inverno. É isso aí, fique ligado aí. Team 17. É uma baita publisher, né? E aí, olha lá, Overcooked. Aniversário, 9 de agosto. Olha lá. Save the date, hein, galera? Disponível aí PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch e PC. Cara, esse jogo é sensacional.
A gente precisa marcar de jogar ele, né? Porque tem versão, tem crossplay entre as plataformas.
It really does help the developer out. Or you can also head over to gamesradar.com for more info.
This next game has an engrossing
Então,
art style.
não tenho certeza, mas eu acho que sim.
To Wallace and Gromit. Let's throw it over to the Slow Bros to talk you through some exclusive gameplay from their stop-motion handmade adventure, Harold Halibut.
Hi, my name's Donut and I'm the director and composer of Harold Halibut.
And I'm Ole, the game's art director.
Harold Halibut is a handmade narrative game about friendship and life on a city-sized spaceship stuck under sea. It's been 250 years since your home. An Ark-like spaceship fled an Earth on the verge of Cold War to find a habitable planet on which to preserve the human race. You are Harold, a young lab assistant to the ship's lead scientist, Jean Marot. While most of the other inhabitants have reconciled themselves to a life lived aboard the sunken ship, Marot still works tirelessly to find a way to leave the planet and find a new, drier home. Of course, we don't want to spoil too much of the story, so let's dive into some gameplay details. You're able to explore a huge part of the spaceship right from the beginning of the game. While the professor will always have tasks waiting for you, the wonderfully weird rest of the Fedorans will keep you just as busy. It was very important for us to not only focus on an exciting main storyline, but to create a world full of interesting events and meaningful encounters. The dialogues don't only help you progress in the main story, but also help you get to know more about the many characters that inhabit our world. Weaving through the narrative, you'll run into playful interactions like repairing a broken 3D printer. Your PDA is always available to you for an overview of current tasks as well as messages from other characters.
This is also where Harold's personal drawings are kept, as well as a few more shenanigans. At this point, you might be wondering how we achieved the stop-motion-like look of the game. We are in fact building every single thing you see in the game in the real world. We build sets and puppets and then 3D scan everything. We're then able to use motion capturing to create lifelike animations for a huge cast of characters.
É, literalmente stop motion mesmo, eles construíram tudo, né, pra poder fazer.
Exatamente, ele teve uma apresentação do trailer durante a Guerrilla Collective Parte 2 que a gente apresentou ao vivo no sábado ao meio-dia.
We're really excited to find out how you like being immersed in this unique world and the feeling of puppeteering Harold. There's still quite a bit of work to do, so all we can say right now is that Harold Halibut will come soonish on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. You can already wishlist the game on Steam. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of the show.
Harold Halibut is coming soonish to PC, PlayStation, and Xbox.
Okay, yes, there have been a few gloomy games so far, so we came up with a wholesome chaser. I'm told that the developers came up with something so sweet and so positive that they just had to call it Happy Game. Seriously, if what I'm reading is correct, this one is gonna melt your hearts.
Vai mudando o cenário.
É, o cenário vai rotacionando junto, né? O jogo literalmente chama Happy Game. Não parece muito happy, mas tudo bem.
Pessoal que quiser, a gente já colocou aí para você visitar lá o link
da página deles na Steam.
Isso, aí você pode testar esse jogo aí. Happy Game.
É, eu acessei agora há pouco, ele tava lá, ele aparece esses jogos, mas ainda não tá liberado. Então, provavelmente depois da apresentação, eles vão liberar alguns desses demos.
Right, yeah, that was something. What I want to know is who the hell is writing this script.
Também tem isso, né? Que começa na quarta-feira, se eu não me engano.
16, quarta-feira.
Mas o link é esse daí que eu vou colocar de novo.
Switch in 2021. Oh, and demo is available now if you want to have a cheerful jaunt into a land of wonder. Good luck with that.
Our next game is a gorgeous hand-drawn puzzle platformer following a young mechanic in a broken world. Pay attention at the end of this trailer for some exciting information about the Minute of Islands release date.
Não, na verdade é o seguinte, ó, nessa página que tá da Future Game Show aí na Steam, tem todos os jogos que eles vão mostrar ou que eles já mostraram que vão mostrar nesse evento. E se você clicar na página do jogo, ele te leva pra onde tá o dele. Acabei de testar aqui.
Boa, boa.
The spores are taking hold of whatever remains. Mole's family is still here, however. She has been tasked to protect them. After all, she is the bearer of the Omni-Switch.
Realmente o visual do jogo é muito bonito, né?
É bastante. Eu tô tentando lembrar que outro jogo que a gente viu que tem um aspecto parecido, mas não vem na cabeça agora.
Minute of Islands.
Tá disponível. PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch.
E PC, pela Steam ou pela GOG.
Yes, we are excited to announce that Minute of Islands is out now for PC, Mac, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch, and will be arriving on Xbox later this week.
Xbox,
Next up, we've got an update from the folks at Techland, who are fine-tuning the zombie parkour of Dying Light 2. Let's throw it over to the developers, who are here to answer some of your questions about the game.
Vamos saber um pouquinho mais de Dying Light 2.
Can you tell us a bit more about the video we just saw in the PC Gaming Show?
The video presented in the PC Gaming Show brings you closer to Aiden's story. What is he looking for, what motivates him, how he ends up in the city, and of course, what happened in the early franchise between both games. This is a bunch of important information about the story.
Cara, só deles falar que não vai ser mais zumbi, saca?
São pessoas que estão infectadas e tal, né?
Side quests are important part of world building in Dying Light 2. Through these quests you can decide how the city will look like, thanks to the city alignment system, or bring new opportunities for the citizens. A great example is an opera singer that Timon mentioned in developers AMA. Some citizens will support your decisions,
mudou totalmente agora o contexto, né?
But it's up to you to decide how the city should look like. We have a lot of game activities prepared for our players, but at this stage we want it to be a surprise for you.
How seamless is the co-op experience? Would you say that the best way to experience Dying Light 2 is with a friend?
It could be. What is cool about the co-op is that it gives you an opportunity to see how the world changes when your friends make different decisions than you. In co-op you can walk in their shoes to experience all those differences. But really there is no just one way to play Dying Light 2. It's up to you guys.
How are you improving the story for Dying Light 2?
Estão pegando perguntas do Twitter e fazendo, né, pro pessoal.
But we also want to give you a deep, thought-provoking experience that will let you be immersed in the DL2 world for long hours. On top of that, thanks to the choices and consequences mechanics, the story will be shaped differently depending on the way you play.
You've promised a great open world that feels alive. How is it going?
Yeah, well, as you can imagine, Dying Light 2 is full of infecteds, but is also full of humans, with their everyday life activities and purposes. We are building Dying Light 2 around a simple rule: grounds is death and rooftops alive. What is cool is that NPCs act differently on each of those levels. Also, their behavior depends on choices you make and the way you play.
É isso aí, 7 de dezembro. PC, Xbox e PlayStation, é isso? Exato.
Isso aí.
Dying Light 2 is coming to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on December 7th.
Revealed during the Nintendo Indie World Showcase earlier this year, this next game is a skateboarding action platformer. Here's Simon Bennett from Roll7 to give you an exclusive look at Ollie Ollie World.
Opa, Tony Hawk, que é isso? Não. Não é. Olha lá, backside.
Hi there, I'm Simon Bennett, and I'm the
cuidado
co-CEO
com o
of
sorvete,
BAFTA
né?
award-winning studio Roll 7. Right now, we're working on Ollie Ollie World. It's our stunning action platformer. You're gonna meet quirky characters on a magical road trip through
Isso já passou no Nintendo
Indie.
Eles falaram isso agora há pouco.
As a studio, we've spent over a decade on flow state games. They transport you into a state of total focus and immersion, and it's something that we very much continue to build on with Ollie Ollie World.
Já tinha saído, né? O Ollie Ollie tinha saído acho que na PlayStation.
If you've played previous games in the series, you're probably pretty aware that you're going to slam a punch before you succeed.
Era da Devolver
So
digital,
for players who
né?
want it, that challenge is very much still there. New players will be happy to hear that the game will welcome you with open arms and ensure that we can get you up and running in no time. Ultimately, we've managed to make failure part of
14 de
the fun.
abril foi
Yeah,
mostrado
you're
o
gonna get
trailer.
knocked down, but when you
Primeira vez.
finally nail that line, it tastes just that much sweeter.
Ah, mas parece ser bem legalzinho, viu?
There's just so much more flow to the game. We've even added grabs, wall rides, firecrackers, split routes, right to left
Aquele pra você relaxar ou pra você tirar os cabelos da cabeça.
There's a range of visually and mechanically distinct areas to explore.
Você decide, né?
To the brim with a fantastical cast of quirky
Mas é um visual
characters,
bem diferente do
beautiful
outro
landscapes,
Ollie Ollie.
cities, and of course, walking trees. Ollie Ollie World is coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch and PC this winter. Make sure you wishlist it now.
That was Ollie Ollie World, which is coming to PC and all current console platforms this winter.
Next up, we've got a new game from the team at Odd Bug Studio, creators of PSVR's The Lost Bear. This animated story trailer will introduce you to the world of Tales of Iron, and something tells me you might be familiar with the narrator.
For centuries and longer, rats have fought tirelessly to repel the incessant frog invasions. Peace was only ever short-lived, until finally a young monarch rose to power. King Rattus, first of his name, unified the Rat Kingdoms under one rule, repelling Greenwort and his kind back to the putrid swamps from whence they came. Crops prospered, families flourished, and the magnificent Crimson Keep climbed ever higher toward the sky. But as time passed, King Rattus the Savior grew old, and the kingdom vulnerable once more. His people grew anxious, some claiming to perceive a faint odor in the air. Greenwort had returned with a ferocious vengeance. Amassing an army of unfathomable scale, he burned everything in his path towards the Crimson Keep. King Rattus gazed down upon his withered claws, barely able to hold the crown. He had little hope wielding a sword. So it was decided the crown should pass to Whiskers New. Arise, young prince, for the kingdom needs a hero. And so, your tale begins.
Chegando pra tudo que é lugar.
Question the reign of the Iron Frog. Doug. Anyway, in Tales of Iron, which is coming to PC and all current console platforms. Our next segment is from Polish studio Movie Games and hosted by God of War and Twisted Metal director David Jaffe, who recently joined their supervisory board.
Nossa, o logo é muito parecido com a da El Gato.
Well, hello, fellas. It's me, David Jaffe. Great to see you. God of War, Twisted Metal, a bunch of PlayStation stuff. These days, I'm doing some new stuff with movie games. These guys, they've hooked up with this great company. You have to have heard of them, Plattige Image, one of the best VFX houses in the business. They worked on The Witcher. They worked on Love, Death, and Robots. We're making a brand new game, the biggest game we've ever done, by the way, that's all about crime and mob and mafia and different time periods. It's going to be great. But for today, settle in, babies. These are the brand new games coming very soon from Movie Games. Lust from Beyond. Man, this is one of the coolest games I've played in the last year. It's what turned me on to movie games in the first place. What you're looking at is the M-rated, console-friendly version of the erotic first-person action game that blends Lovecraftian horror with weird freaking eroticism. I love this game. Lust from Beyond. Game number 2 is called Fire Commander. It lets you step into the shoes of the only real-life superheroes we got, the first responders. This game is my childhood fantasy come to life.
Fire Commander.
This game took me totally by surprise. You're trapped in the wilderness, freezing, hungry, and now you're starting to go a little bit insane. Man, you start seeing all kinds of crazy stuff out there. Winter Survival Simulator, it's coming soon. Have a great E3. Have a great future games. I miss you guys.
Isso aí, ó. Sim que é legal. Isso aí, tá um gole.
Oh my God.
É isso mesmo, é ele mesmo. Ele, pra quem quiser, ele tem um canal no YouTube, ele faz um podcast, acho que todo domingo. E ele manja bem, ele sabe das coisas.
This next presentation comes from the folks at Xseed Games, the makers of Story of Seasons and Rune Factory. Here's a look at their most exciting current and upcoming projects.
Das trips.
Esse daí eu publiquei ontem, é da Xseed Games.
Coisas normais que você faz no dia a dia ali, andando na rua, né?
Claro.
Chegando dia 20 de julho. Shadowverse Champions Battle.
Nem publiquei ontem. Tudo, deve ser o bloco da Xseed Games.
Isso, com certeza, com certeza.
Tem mais um.
Então entra a mão, hein?
É pro Switch também, o outro.
Chegando dia 10 de agosto. E aí, Stories of Season, Friends of Mineral Town. Eu não peguei a
Friends.
data.
Friends of Mineral Town.
Obrigado.
Data?
Eu não peguei.
14 de julho.
14 de julho. PlayStation 4 e Xbox One. Aqui só apareceu 2021.
A página da Steam tá indicando 14 de julho. Pode ser que os consoles seja diferente. O Stories of the Season é o sucessor espiritual do... Caramba, perdi o nome agora. Harvest Moon? Esse daí, acho que era o outro que eu achei que era do Switch.
Rune Factory 4 Special. PS4, Xbox One e PC também para sair esse ano.
Tem um que é do Switch, quer ver?
Vai sair para todo mundo também.
Esse é do Switch. Rune Factory 5.
Mas chegou ano que vem.
Vamos torcer aí que chega num preço legal, né?
Por quê? Você pretende jogar?
Porque eu galera do
tomorrow.
Mas olha, é legal pra caramba, cara.
Os preços locais do Switch não são tão ruins, viu? Eu achei que ia ser pior, na verdade.
Só que os preços dos jogos mesmo. Principalmente quando o jogo é da Nintendo, né?
O jogo da Nintendo não tem promoção, cara.
Exatamente, o jogo da Nintendo não tem promoção.
Quando tem, é tipo promoção de... Eles tiram, sei lá, tipo 10, 15 dólares. Acho que o máximo que eu já vi de promoção que eles tiraram foi tipo cair de 60 pra 40.
Find out more about Xseed's lineup on GamesRadar.com.
This next game is a hack-and-slash RPG with twin-stick shooter elements set in a retro sci-fi world. Here's a new gameplay trailer for Batora, Lost Haven.
Oh yeah, now we're talking.
falou que é Twin Stick Shooter, é isso? Twin Stick é meio difícil de jogar, você tem que acostumar.
Da Tora, Lost Heaven.
Tora Lost Haven is coming soon to PC and all current console platforms. And you can sign up to play the closed alpha when it launches on July 21st now.
Let's slow things down a bit with a look at the next game from the creators of 2 Point Hospital.
Esse jogo vai ter tanto interface quanto legendas em português do Brasil.
No, you didn't.
Olha aí, Solo.
Here's developers Mark Webley, Ben Huskins, and Gary Card to tell you all about it and give you a first look at
Campus, não é?
Que foi mostrado ontem, né? É isso mesmo.
Isso.
Foi ontem ou foi antes de ontem?
Agora você pegou.
Já faz foi mostrado já. O 2 Point Campus.
2 Point Campus.
Chama 2 Point mesmo, né, o estúdio.
When we're thinking about what we're going to do next,
da Sega da
the
Europa.
idea of running a university or a college was something we just kept coming back to. It's a really rich topic. So people who haven't probably heard of 2 Point Studios may think, oh, schools, that's really dull. Well, hospitals, if you've seen our previous game, isn't about healthcare really. It's a wrapper, we call it 2 Point Hospital, but that's about as close as it gets to real world of medical healthcare.
Campus is taking everything we learned from 2 Point Hospital and taking it to the next level.
The important thing was for us to give the player a canvas that they could completely create themselves.
In Campus, you start with this blank plot of land.
We've got something called the Smart Brush, for example, which allows you to drag interesting shaped pathways. If you want to drag a picket fence, you can drag that along. It's just really easy to paint the world.
Isso aí é novo.
So it's really simple
2 Point
to
Hospital
drag
não é
out
tão simples
courtyards,
assim.
Lay down some paths at different angles.
And it's fun, isn't it? I mean, it's adding this kind of city builder element to 2 Point Universe. The difference between 2 Point Hospital and Campus is that we're spending a much longer period with our students. What we wanted to do with Campus is make you care about your university. The idea of these interesting and different courses are going to attract interesting and different students. So there's a night school, horrible pun, but night school, you got it. You're going to train knights of the realm. So it won't be stuffy, normal, boring stuff that made you go to sleep at school. It's going to be really cool, interesting stuff.
É isso aí.
That was 2 Point Campus, which is coming soon to PC and all current console platforms.
Our next game is in early development, but it already has a very cool code name, which is always a good sign. Here's Leo to tell you all about Project Ferocious.
Hello, my name is Leo, and I'm the developer of Project Ferocious, an action-adventure game set on a mysterious tropical island. Some of you might know me from Twitter as Omniok, where I post about the game and development and tech and stuff. And if not, I've been doing game dev for about 12 years with a big passion, and I've been working on this project for about 2 years. It's the first project of mine I decided to show to the public, and even though I know it still has a very long way to go, I'm very proud to present it today to you on the show. Please enjoy the trailer.
Vamos ver. Project Ferocious, é isso?
Exatamente.
É algo.
Project Ferocious. O target é
Project Ferocious
2023,
is targeting a 2023 release date and coming to PC, PlayStation, and Xbox.
Our next world premiere asks,
bem longe, hein?
What if Doom Guy had a drunk one-night stand with Super Meat Boy? Guess this next game wants to answer that question.
What?
For some reason.
O do Super Meat Boy? Uma world premiere. Warcry Challenges.
Acho que é isso aí.
É. Tá pra PC.
Watch out for Warcry Challenges when it stops defying gravity and launches, drops, on PC this summer.
Up next, we've got another world premiere.
Tem a página dele aqui na
Conway,
Steam.
Disappearance at Dahlia View is a story-driven detective thriller set in 1950s England.
Vou colocar o link
Let's
pra
find
se
out
alguém
more,
quiser
shall
dar
we?
uma olhada.
É, jogo interessante,
Não, tem que ver do que se trata, né?
É, não. É só o gameplay, achei bem legal por ser rápido, né?
I've solved many a case in my time as a private investigator, but nothing so close to home as the abduction of Charlotte May. There are some things that take hold of a person and refuse to let go.
Parecido com aquele filme do livro, né? Filme, né? Do Alfred Hitchcock.
My own
A pessoa fica na janela lá.
is on the case. She has the same look in her eye that I used to have. There'll be no stopping her. I wish I could say that all of my neighbors are innocent. I wish I could say that I have the faintest clue where to begin. There's a lot I wish I could say. The truth is, sometimes it takes a nightmare to wake a place like Dahlia View.
Conway.
Deixa eu ver se eu acho ele aqui.
É, chegando pra tudo que é jeito.
I
Pra
am
tudo.
in. That was Conway, Disappearance at Dahlia View from White Paper Games, and you can dig into the mystery yourself when it lands on PC and all current console platforms, autumn 2021.
And with that, we're at the end of this year's Future Game Show.
Whoa, hold on. Surely this can't be the end. I mean, it's an E3 showcase.
Nope, sorry, Troy, that's it. Just kidding.
I knew it. All right, let's see it.
Provavelmente agora vão ser os últimos.
É, com certeza. Mais uma World Premiere. Caramba, só gente em peso aí fazendo o jogo.
Sim. Imortalidade.
Immortality.
My name is
É isso,
Marissa
um jogo?
Martel. I'm 17 years old and it's my
Chegando em
dream to be an
2022. Ou seja,
And that
vamos
really
terminar.
is all we have time for. Be sure to head to GamesRadar.com for more coverage and updates on all the games you've seen today and more.
I'm really excited about that Sam Barlow reveal. Yes, and thanks to our headline partners, WD Black, and of course, all of our many talented developers and industry partners that have made all of this possible.
And of course, for everyone tuning in at home.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed today's lineup, and mark your diaries because the Future Game Show will be returning in August.
I'm Laura Bailey.
And I'm Troy Baker.
And this has been the Future Game Show 2021.
É isso aí. Então esse aí foi o Future Game Show. Bastante de jogo pra chegar aí, né, galera?
É, bastante jogo, mas dá pra contar nos dedos que chamou atenção.
Com certeza.
O que mais me chamou atenção, eu tô doido aqui atrás de informação procurando, é um joguinho de boxe.
Ah, tá. Não tá na página da Steam?
Tá, mas não tem informação sobre ele, nem de demo.
Ah, tá.
Então tá, galerinha, obrigado pela companhia. Lembrando a vocês que amanhã nós estamos de volta. Segunda e terça-feira ainda tem cobertura da E3. Dia 3 e dia 4 da E3 2021, cobertura total da Games e Games. Amanhã nós estaremos às 2h15 fazendo a cobertura da Take-Two Interactive. Depois a gente volta...
2h45 começa a Take-Two.
Eu tô aqui no E3, tá dando 2h15.
Então eu peguei errado, mas eu vou. Eu vou checar.
Confirma. Eu tô no site da E3 aqui. São 2h15 Take-Two e depois às 6h30 Capcom, que a gente vai estar fazendo a cobertura amanhã. Nesta segunda-feira, então, você tem cobertura total da E3 2021. Saulo, obrigado. Estamos aqui desde as 15 para 1 da tarde.
Pois é. Eu caí por um momento, que a minha conexão caiu. Mas eu voltei logo na sequência.
Jefferson, obrigado também junto com a gente aí o domingo inteiro.
Obrigado a vocês.
E a gente então volta amanhã, pessoal, ali por volta de pertinho de 2 horas da tarde, a gente está de volta. E fique ligado então para mais um dia de cobertura da E3 2021. Lembrando que tudo isso você encontra no nosso site gamersgames.com.br. Galera, mais uma vez obrigado ao Saulo, obrigado ao Jefferson. A gente se vê amanhã então. Ótima noite de domingo pra todos. Tchau, galera.
And as soon as Harold Halibut came up,
Wallace and Gromit scared you as well?
I mean, they're a little creepy looking.
Beleza, fechado.